breaking every peak. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness and fight all day. Guys Night Podcast, let's ride the wave. Politics and prayers, ain't no subject to shun.
Oh, yes, 100%. I love falling asleep on the couch.
My wife doesn't understand that. Like,
No, she-
My wife would be like, "Are you mad at me?" No, I just want a good night's
no,
sleep.
it's just
Don't ever say that to
I
them.
call it natural sleep. I'm like, natural sleep is the best kind of sleep. And when she's like, well, what do you consider natural sleep? It's like when you fall asleep without an alarm set.
And you don't wake up
Not
until you
like a-
feel like it.
Yeah, like not a planned sleep. Like I didn't plan to go to bed. My body just was like, I'm tired and you should fall asleep right now. And it's like, that is the best sleep.
How many
I 100% agree.
milligrams of caffeine are in this sucker?
I think 125.
Oh,
The
that's not
best
bad
sleep
at all.
is
No.
also when you have black curtains.
200. Oh, yeah.
Black
Yeah,
curtains.
Black curtains.
Yeah, when we were in Iceland, they had blackout curtains.
Oh, God.
Of
That
course,
was,
you got 24 hours of daylight there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can put me in a basement, cold and dark.
Yeah.
Like I'll sleep in that. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Guys Night Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Will McEwen. And before we get started, first thing I want to get into is, hey, locked in. Are you locked in? Is your focus on point? Are you getting those daily tasks done in a timely manner? If not, get that brain gain going on by going in and taking a look at Locked In, sponsored by Manny Pacquiao. There's not a better drink on the market as far as health goes. All natural, no additives. And yeah, if you're looking for that extra boost, that's the way to get it. Tonight, I got a special episode for you guys. We are going to get into that in just a minute. But along with me is Nick. Welcome back, brother.
Thanks.
And of course, Evan's here tonight.
What's going on, guys?
No, David. He is actually at Stagecoach in California. I'm sure he's enjoying himself behind stage there. But
What's Stagecoach even? I know it's like a country thing.
yeah, it's a huge country
Okay.
concert in California. It's like out in the middle of nowhere. Hour and a half, I think, away, hour and 15 minutes away from Palm Springs, maybe a little further than that. But yeah, huge concert, some big headliners, but they throw a hell of an event. So he's out there this year. He's going to be getting some behind the scenes footage, and we'll make sure that we lead you to his channel, The Thirsty AF Cowboy. So
You
make
can do a
sure that-
podcast about it after he comes back.
yeah,
Do the whole
absolutely.
thing.
We'll definitely talk about that. But let's get into our guest tonight. He is the author of the book, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. He's on Instagram, Spotify, and more. Does podcasts with local men and women as well as others online. Does a little bit of dating advice, but personal trainer as well. And let's welcome to the show, Adam. Congratulations, man. Welcome aboard.
What's up, guys? I'm here to just tell you guys everything that's happened throughout my life. And yeah, let's just get started. So,
Awesome. And I want to make sure I pronounce your last name right. Is it Skoda?
yes.
All right, perfect. So Adam Skoda. I apologize for that. I meant to ask that before we started tonight because I didn't want to mispronounce it. But yeah, so first off, you and I started talking about your book before we got on tonight, and I was really surprised. I shouldn't say how easy it is to write a book, but really, it's not as difficult as one might think if you go like yourself without a publisher. So
Yeah.
you wrote the book, correct?
Yep.
And then you had a friend of yours that kind of helped you chapter it out and make sure that it was, fawn it out and had a kind of a smooth flow to it in a sense, right?
It costed $1,000, but it was worth it, in my opinion. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then from there, you post on Amazon, and it kind of Amazon kind of bills it out as people order it, correct?
Yep.
That's awesome. Are you noticing a difference? Or you just came out, what, February 2024, you said?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you tracking sales yet, or?
So I probably sold about 10 so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's not
Gotta start
about
somewhere.
Yeah, as I say, it's
Yeah.
not about how many. But for you guys that are listening, we'll put a link in the description on where you can find Adam's book on Amazon, so you can check that out.
We
But,
get double the sales.
Yeah. Hey, you
Right
never
here.
know. It's very
Heck
possible,
yes.
right? So
Appreciate
make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. If you got questions below, put them down there. And as we're going through this podcast, if you've got something to say, this is the time to say it. If you're looking for dates, you're looking to get that masculine body, if you're looking for the definition of alpha male, that's where Adam comes in, according to some of the things that I've read and some of the podcasts that I've listened that you've done. So let's start off with Adam's story. Were you always what you'd consider the alpha male in the room?
I mean, honestly, when I was young, I was hospitalized. It was from, just long story short, I was depressed and I had to get myself into fitness, and I started going on walks with family. And then after that, I started running track, and then I was a pole vaulter towards the end of my high school career, and I basically went from that into personal training. I met Milt Marshall, works in Medina, and he inspired me to become a personal trainer.
That's the got milk guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that quite often. And Evan, before you get too excited, pole vaulting is not what you think it is. It's an athletic
bless
event.
it.
Yes. Yeah. No, Milt has like a little gym in Medina. It's like really niche, small, like nice little gym he has going on.
Yeah, I see. I think it's over behind Times Square or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
you met him. How did you meet him?
He's a family friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you first started getting into fitness and working out, was he a big part of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously you started working out. Now, what age would you say this was when you kind of found the gym and found fitness as an avenue?
Like, I would say around 19, 20. I was in a long-term relationship too. A very toxic person. That's a different story. But the whole
I think we all have one of those.
Yeah.
the whole tangent behind what I was saying about fitness, though, is that really did get me out of my own head, and I found my outlet, and I love working out. I will stick with that for the rest of my life because that changes most people's lives, in my opinion.
So you went to school locally here?
I went to CSU.
Okay.
Cleveland State University.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you go to high school at?
Medina High School, but I also went to the Medina County Career Center.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What did you do we've talked about the Career Center often, actually, if you don't mind me asking, what did you go to school there for?
Video production.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that translates.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually hoping to get the professor or teacher, whatever you want to call him, to come onto the show. I'd actually love to have one of his students help out during the summer. I mean, with the equipment that we have here, I think this would be a great opportunity for a young person that's looking to get into podcasting or video production on, how to maximize software, how to utilize some of the best equipment in the business. While we're not the biggest podcast out there, I do have probably the biggest budget for for a hobby podcast.
That is very true. God bless.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so that's awesome. And then, Nick and I have talked about it often. We've had other guys on here. Actually, Brandon was supposed to be here tonight, but he's at a birthday party. But I think you're right. Fitness is a huge avenue for men of all ages, right? It doesn't matter when you get started. It's that you get started. It's a great way to have a positive mindset. It's a great way to find some confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing, it's not the one thing I should say, but it's one of those things where whatever you want to get out of it is what you can put into it, right? So if you want to compete like Nick does on a national level and try to go for his pro card, which we'll have to get an update on that soon, but then you can really maximize your effort. You can really maximize your workout. You can hire coaches, hire trainers, and things like that. But if you're that guy who's also just looking to get into shape to better his life, whether he's obese or older and starting to feel the pains of, just being a man every day of your life, when you start to get older, it gets a little harder. Anybody can find fitness at any point in time to really to drive that. So how did it start for you? Was it, you said running? Did you get into lifting weights right away?
Oh, I got into lifting after I did Insanity, and also I did his elite athlete type program called Insanity Asylum. 30 days of hell. It's ridiculous. Speed and agility, vertical plyo, game day. It's you train like a fucking maniac.
Yeah. What does that kind of look like? Are they like 30-minute sessions, hour sessions?
Sometimes hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
That workout overtime. He makes you do like these moves that are like fucking out of this world. Like what? Like stationary bear crawl and like single leg power jump. And it's like, how do you call on that much fucking muscle in your lower body? By the next day, you're fucking sore in your ass. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, a sore ass.
Yeah.
Evan, once again, from working out.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus.
All right. So you get into fitness. How long did you you mentioned he inspired you, but when did that turn into like, I want to help other people and become a trainer?
So I became a trainer, I believe, was like 23 years of age.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old
And-
are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm actually going to be 32 in August.
Okay. So
Yeah.
about 9 years ago, when you kind of
Yeah.
started like.
I
in
did
your
the
own-
math wrong a little bit ago. but
Yeah, that's okay. So that was when you kind of said, "Hey, I want to take this and
Yeah.
start doing this to help other people."
Mhm.
What did that process look like for you? How was it like trying to find clients? How to kind of create a name for yourself and such?
It's a gut check for sure,
Yeah.
because you realize that a lot of people are just lazy and they almost don't want to get fit, but you have to really push hard and just look for those type of guys that just want to get fit and not like throw in a towel easily.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess the other thing too, and Nick, you could probably answer this as well. It's one thing for someone to say, "I want to dedicate myself. I want to have a coach. I want to meet once, twice, 3 times a week or more, whatever it is, and I'm willing to pay for that." But it's probably the hardest aspect, I would think, even from a personal level, is like, okay, well, what are you doing for the 23 hours of the day that I'm not like attached to your hip to make sure you're
Yeah.
eating right, to make
Yep.
sure that you're getting a good night's sleep, to make sure that you're doing the extra little things like whether we talked about something as simple as getting steps in. How hard is that with some of these guys that you guys are training? Both of
Yeah,
you?
it's tough because like I can't want it more than you do. You know what I mean? Like I can't get up in the morning, do your cardio for you. I can't eat your meals for you. I can't do that. So like I had one kid that I coach and he's like, how's everything been going? They send me their check-ins. Like everything during the week is great, but on the weekends he's eating cheeseburgers and drinking beer and all the stuff. He's like, I can't really get lean. I'm like, well, that's because you're not doing the shit on the weekends that you're doing during the week. If you just do that, then you'll be fine. How bad do you want it? And it's so funny because you get people that are like, I will do anything to get in shape. You're like, all right, well, eat this meal and get up in the morning, do your cardio, and don't cheat on your diet. Well, I won't do that. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So I had one client. She was like a vegan. She wanted to compete. She's a vegan. She is like 50-year-old natural woman, and she didn't want to give up her wine and her flatbreads. And I'm like, in what world do you think you can stand on a stage and look like and she wanted to be a pro, like bikini bodybuilder. I'm like, no, dude, what world does that happen?
No, well, there was a Goober. We talked about Goober a few times. Well, he actually was just made a new video about this coach that told one of his clients to get up on stage, and she does not look like ready to compete. Her
Yeah, it's a disservice.
father looks great, but she doesn't even look like she even like worked out even a little bit.
I've had clients where they're just not ready, and I just tell them like, look, we're gonna have to pick a different
yeah,
show.
that's where it gets difficult because you can't lead a horse to water to make it drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like every time I have, these repeat clients, they ask me, Adam, how do you get a 6-pack? Because they see my podcast art. I'm like, dude, you just gotta like fucking stay focused on your fucking food intake, to be blunt. But
Yeah.
that's just they don't stay focused.
Yeah, that's
But-
the hardest part for me too. It's always been diet because I enjoy food. Who doesn't? Nick and I have had this conversation. I'm a bread freak.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard for me to go. If a restaurant brings me out some fucking fresh,
I'm gonna eat
hot
all the
bread,
rolls.
Like, you might as well just bring out a second basket because I'm gonna smash through this before the salad comes out. And it's like, I know that it is like the worst thing too because it's just.
I mean, it's really not as bad as you think, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely not great.
Well, I think my wife asked today. We went to Chipotle and she's like, "Hey, do you want to get a pop or whatever? Because you get a free meal or free one with this meal." And I was like, "No," because I feel like just like bread, once you allow yourself to eat the bread or once you allow yourself to drink the pop, like it just leads to it's okay, I did this, or I already drank pop today, so I already cheated. I might as well just finish this day out and I'll start again tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, that's a terrible fucking plan.
It
Like you have
snowballs.
to just be like focused on just doing the right thing 24/7, at least for the time period that you're trying to either compete or make those substantial gains. But that diet doesn't have to be that hard for everybody. For a lot of people, I think we've talked about it and Dan's talked about it when he's been on. It's like, well, first just start off with reducing your calories if you're trying to lose weight and make sure that you're burning more calories than you're intaking. And that'll help you lose weight right off the bat.
Yeah,
Gaining
just move.
muscle. Yeah, I was gonna say gaining muscle and going to the gym will help you lose weight right off the bat.
Yep.
It's really that focus and very detailed approach to dieting really comes to when you want to maximize that. It's when you want to go from 15% to 8% body fat, right? You want to get the 6-pack to pop. That's
Yep.
where the
Yep.
dedication seems like that it really pops.
Yeah, the leaner you get, the harder it is to get leaner.
Yeah.
100%.
And some
Yeah, if you're-
people are just gifted by God with that body that just burns fat nonstop and the 6-pack's popping from the time they're like 11 years old for the rest of their
I
life.
just want to comment on that. For me, it's frustrating because I want like to gain a little more muscle now. I've been doing feeder workouts with my client Jason, And the thing with that type of body, as I have to tell you this, because my body does burn fat like quickly. I find that it gets annoying because I'm hungry constantly.
Yeah.
I'm always fucking hungry.
Yeah.
So it's like every few hours, protein, every few hours, protein, every few hours, protein. And I just got to keep doing that every single fucking day.
Yeah.
So I have to focus and remember, Adam, if you want to get to this goal, more protein, more chicken, fish.
What's your diet look like right now?
Chicken, rice, fish. Yep.
No carbs or fats?
I do have oatmeal, but that's first thing in the morning.
Well, I mean, the protein, you definitely need the protein to put muscle on, but without the carbs and fats to like kind of, fats to slow down digestion and carbs to replenish your glycogen levels, you're going to have a really hard time putting on size without having those. So you're probably, if you're eating chicken and fish and steak and all that all day, you're probably in a deficit all the time. You know what I mean? So you got to be eating in that surplus, and sometimes you got to put on a little extra fat in order to grow too. So which that can be like a real mental gymnastics for people. Even myself, like the off season, I'll get up to 260, almost 270 sometimes. And everybody's like, "You're huge." I'm like, "I feel like a whale," you know. And then now I'm 230, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm so small," you know. Like I just feel, you know, it's weird.
Well, the other thing too is body dysmorphia is a real thing. Like if you look at yourself in the mirror every single day, like
The real thing.
you don't see what everybody else sees. You know, like I ran into you at the gym the other day, and I was like having a really shitty week, and you're like, "Dude, you're freaking your triceps look huge today or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, fuck."
They were popping.
I was like, all right, so maybe I am getting the results. Maybe I just am not seeing it. But
Well, you think about it. You look at yourself more than anybody else does, and when you look at yourself constantly every day, you're not going to see unless you're really hyper, like intensive looking at yourself, taking pictures. Because that's why a lot of bikini girls, I ask, why are they always videoing? They're recording themselves. They want to look at their posing, they want to look at their body shape, and they want to see if they leaned out a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where having that coach is important too, because they can look at you unbiased and say, oh, "Okay, yeah, we made improvements this week," or "Oh shit, what the fuck happened?" You know. So
Well, it's funny too. Actually, you brought up an interesting point, like people looking at themselves. We're talking about body dysmorphia. My wife just brought up a point the other day where she's like, I read this thing where it was like talking about the average amount of time a person spends looking at themselves now versus like before. So like think about it in the sense of a mirror. You used to have to be in front of a mirror. Now you're in front of your phone all day, seeing yourself. You're walking past mirrors everywhere you go. You see videos of people taking photos, people taking of yourself. And we started thinking about it. Could you imagine like 150 years ago? Like, I don't know what I look like. I haven't seen myself in like fucking 2 weeks. You know,
there's no pictures, no mirror. Well, probably got some mirrors, but you know,
occasional mirrors, right? But it's not like they were plastered everywhere. It's not like you were in a gym where the whole wall was made of mirrors.
Yeah, the clothes they're wearing are all baggy and stuff. You know what I mean? They're not like it is now. To be fair though, nobody looked like there was no like overly muscular people back then either.
Probably
you know what I mean?
not.
So
Not to the point that there is now.
Yeah, we got the freaks now.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's insane. I just saw this video the other day. There's this guy like getting off of a surfboard or something. And he was like showing his tattoos on his back, and I was like, God, that dude is fucking yoked. Like I was like, people just you don't see people surfing that are like yoked. This dude's like 6'4", 240, and I was like, dude, you're like the guy that was blessed by God. Like, yeah, you obviously work hard to get that muscle, but part of it's genetics. Like you're 6'4" and you're 220 or 240. Like, you know, that doesn't just happen because, you know, you got lucky and you ate right for a couple months.
There's two types of guys out there too. When they see a guy like that, there's the guy that's like, oh my God, dude, that dude's yoked. You see him, it's crazy, right? Like us, we're like, wow. And then you have the guy that's like jealous. He's like, oh, he's not that big, whatever. He gets all self-conscious about it.
Or more so, they're like, God, what a douche. He looks terrible. He's so muscular, dude. Why is that guy so muscular? He looks terrible.
I think that's so funny when guys are like that.
I wanna comment on that. To any listener listening to this episode right now, just don't get jealous easily, because I wrote in my hardcover book over there that is actually feminine behavior. Because when you get mad like that at another man, that's not masculine at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think jealousy is a huge weak point.
Yeah.
I'm not one to get jealous easy. In fact, my wife's always like, why don't you get jealous? It's like, I don't know, like, are you going to leave me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why would you get
If
jealous?
you are, you're not the right one.
Yeah, like,
So-
I mean, I love you, babe, but if you're going to leave me because then for another guy, then that's what you're going to do. But
Yeah.
I think it would be a mistake.
I think like that comes with like knowing your worth a little bit. Like, you know, like I mean, I love my wife to death, and I'm the same way. Like I mean, maybe when I was younger, I used to be jealous a little bit, but as I've gotten older, and when we've been together 13 years, like I don't really care, you know what I mean? And I think, like, in my opinion is, I mean, I don't think she'd ever leave me, but if she did, like, I'm like, all right, well, I'm successful. Like, I take care of myself. Like, there'd be a line of girls out there for looking for a good, loyal guy, you know?
Yeah.
So good luck with the one you found.
Or I'm going to have a whole lot more time to focus on me.
Yeah.
Which is cool too.
That's the other part too. Yeah. I can, 100%. Yeah. You mean I can travel every weekend now? That seems awesome. Yeah.
All right, Adam, let's get back to you, man. So 77 ways to develop a mindset, a masculine mindset. What led you to create this book? And I guess for our listeners, why should they listen to you on where to develop that masculine mindset? What makes you a person that they can trust to give them this information?
Well, I mean, there's so many tangents I could go down. First and foremost,
Well, let's start with the inspiration then. What led you to say, "I want to write a book"? Because that's not a small thing.
yeah, I first wrote my 2 dating ebooks, Become the Alpha Woman Wants, and then the second one, Closer's Guide to Seduction, and then that was my 3rd one.
Okay.
And the story behind the first one is I just got into flow state, and I remember when I was at a very young age, I got really inspired because I was in a relationship, and long story short, like I just remember reaching that peak state where I felt like I don't care about anything or anyone, and I just want to write and write and write and write, and out came Become the Alpha Woman Wants. And then really I know
So you wrote that book in a relationship?
Yes. And I know I have, like, you know, a pretty controversial title, but honestly, to me, an alpha male is just, he's carefree, he's content, he's indifferent, happy-go-lucky, and doesn't really give a fuck about anyone but himself.
Okay.
So, and also I think that most people confuse the term alpha. They think that it's about buying shiny objects, when really confidence can't be bought. It comes from within. And even in my book, Become the Alpha Woman Wants, I referenced the Tao Te Ching. And when you try to seek other people's approval, that means that you're actually not the alpha, but you're seeking other people's opinions of you. You become their prisoner. That's from the Tao Te Ching. And that really was hugely inspired. That book as well was the Tao Te Ching, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Wayne Dyer, and Mindset by Carol Dweck. And I remember Mindset by Carol Dweck is a massive one because you need to have a growth mindset if you want to become that alpha male that I talk about. And also, I'm going to go to Closer's Guide to Seduction because that one, I wrote that when I was with Emily. And that one was, I've been making rewrites to that one, but that particular book is mostly just about where I came from in terms of my dating life, and I went into a very deep, dark place, and I had to get out of that place, and then I had to get myself out of that to be a good person to other women in my life, and that inspired me to write about female psychology and become really know about the limiting beliefs behind seduction too, because I address limiting beliefs like religion, even why people think sex is wrong, sex is shameful. And then I talk about the inspiration for my 3rd book, that one right there. Long story short, to drive this point home, that book was inspired really, I worked with several coaches throughout my life, and that's dedicated to every single coach that I ever worked with. It's dedicated to Mark Singh, Marnie of the Wingirl Method, Wes Watson, Jason Capital, even Joe Lieberman, who left us recently. And
so are these people that you've paid to coach you, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And that book taught me, I put all of my biggest life lessons in that book.
So you paid these other coaches to basically teach you how to be alpha male,
No.
masculine guy.
Let me actually correct myself here. What I'm saying is, what I learned through these people is they taught me like how to be a better man, but also more importantly, I put it into my own words. Like I'm not
Yeah.
going to
Right.
like-
No, I think what Nick's asking though, like when you were like, obviously in order to talk to these coaches or work with these coaches, I'm sure they were charging or they were paying, but it was something where you reached out to them to coach you, or is it just stuff that you were doing your own research and kind of looking at what they have out there available, and then you kind of pick things up from that? And then sure, you could turn it into your own words. We're not saying that you just copied what they said, but you obviously went to them first. So you were looking for some help in that area maybe, and then found these coaches and they inspired you to change, or am I putting words in your mouth?
And maybe share what you've learned or whatever.
There's a lot I could say. First and foremost, a lot of people don't even. On my podcast, I tell the story of how Wes reached out to me. This is true. Some people think I'm lying, but I'm not. He reached out to me. The mentor chose a mentee in that instance, and I worked with him on his mid-level, and that's part of let me.
And who is this? This is Wes. Who?
Wes Watson. Nick knows who he is. I know he does, but
Well,
Yeah, I think isn't he like a Michael Sartain type of guy, or what's that other dude that is on his podcast?
No, one of my favorite dating coaches.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with Wes Watson. This
Yeah.
is somebody
Yeah.
that we actually had. What's his name on? Was it Kyle?
Kyle,
And
yeah.
Kyle worked with him or knew him as well.
Mhm.
So I'm familiar with him. So Wes reached out to you
yes.
and just said, "Hey, I want to teach you some things or share with you some ways to improve your life." Or
That one really what he taught me there is just mental toughness and discipline,
How do you go about teaching you that?
just daily habits, stacking wins. Something that I put in my hardcover book is kill your inner bitch, to stop like trying to be a bitch every time you want to skip workouts, every time you want to like not get in that workout, or even missing meals when you shouldn't be missing meals. And
So what does that look like? Like how does, because I'm interested in these like masculinity coaches or lifestyle coaches, whatever. So how does that work? Do they like check in with you like once a week, and you tell them you have like a report that you give them for the week, and they kind of go through different decisions you made, or how's that go?
so when I coach someone, when it comes to that, I tell them that the number one thing you just need to do is to just wake up, read a personal development book, any book, it doesn't matter what you read, and then start stacking wins by simply working out, meditating, and get into that peak flow state. Because the peak flow state is what inspired me to write all my books. And
well, hold on a sec, because I don't want to get off of what Nick asked, because I
Okay.
think for instance, if I'm a personal trainer coach, and I'm not, but Nick is, right? And Nick requires his the people that he's training to check with him once a week. They go over what they ate for the week, what they did in their
you're talking about
workouts.
fitness coaching. I thought
Oh,
you
No,
were-
no, I'm not. But there's a way for the coach
Yeah.
to help check the progress of the one he's coaching.
Yeah.
right?
So
in a masculine mind, to create a, who's are you check like, okay, let's say Wes Watson's mentoring you or he's coaching you. Are you checking in once a week and you're saying, hey, on Monday, this is what I did. On Tuesday, this is what I did.
Yeah,
When you're giving advice, are you having your guys check in with you once a week and say, hey, did you skip journaling this week? Or, hey, did you skip,
what
reading this week? Like how do they gauge like where you're at on that process?
what type of value do you get from hiring Wes Watson or you or a Michael Sartain or whoever as a coach? What are they doing in order to get you to be more of a mental mindset instead of, or they just tell you, okay, here's my book, read this or whatever?
That's a good question. I would just say it's I have to think about that.
Like if somebody hires you for like to be their mental mindset coach, what do you do for your clients?
Oh, well, that's easy to answer. I just, like I said, I tell them to wake up, read, journal, and then work out, start stacking wins throughout the day. And also, I recently launched my 14-day challenge to everyone who follows my podcast. So when they sign up, I send them my 14-day challenge, and then they have to use the Trainerize app. The Trainerize app gets you to go through all of the exercises one by one, and then I have a habit that they do after working out, and that is daily meditation to binaural beats.
So you're kind of like a hybrid
Yeah.
fitness and mental.
Fitness and mindset. Yes.
So are they checking in with you daily, weekly? Are you getting like
So
them to
it's-
send you something,
It's
or
automated.
so
to
that you're,
send them
you
that
can look in
message.
there and see on the trainer eyes like what they're actually
Yes.
saying they did.
Yes.
But are you having like a one-on-one coaching meeting with them at all?
I talk with them once a week
Okay.
about anything that they need to work on.
Gotcha. And how many people are you training on at any given time between personal coaching and mindset coaching?
So when it comes to the trainerized stuff, I have about 3 people right now. However, I have about 5 people that I am personally training one-on-one.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
You see them a little bit more often. Probably the
Yes.
in-person stuff is a little bit easier to hold accountability for because you talk to them frequently.
yeah,
I had the same type of thing like with fitness coaching where I have people that are out of state. I just talk to them basically once a week. They send me an email and we go through everything and then I update their plan and whatever.
Mhm.
But then they might text me throughout the week if they have a question or if they have a problem or whatever, So I just was curious to see if like the mental mind state stuff was similar to how the fitness coaching is, or if it has its own niche thing.
Yeah, and it's surprising because I'm not, like I said, any kind of a coach, but I look at it as like running a business, and I have done that for 20 years. And if I have let's say I have somebody that's on a plan, right? In my industry, we call it a PIP, right? To check in on their, like I'm working with them daily. Like, hey, what did you do today?
Yeah, how far did we get on this?
Where did you get on this? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? Like, because it's daily. Because one, it's not like I could just check in at the end of the week because at that point it might be too late.
Yeah.
And if somebody's in a point where they're, let's look at it like this. Let's say you're personal training somebody, they've been working out for 10 years, but they're 16 weeks prior to prep. Okay. You're going to be able to tell after the first check-in how much time you need to spend with them.
For sure.
You're going to be able to, the second week, the third week, the fourth week, you're
Yeah,
going to
some
start
people you
dialing
can just
that in.
set it and forget it, and they'll do what they're supposed to do.
But if I'm 290 pounds, 5'8", and I've never worked out a day in my life,
We're gonna need a
I
little
don't
more
have
attention.
any good habits.
No.
You're probably going to have to reach out to me every day to say, hey, what did you do today? Because chances are I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I haven't been doing it for 20 years. What makes me going to start now other than saying I want to get serious? Like you're going to probably have to put some more devotion. So I would almost think with a mindset thing, it would be like, all right, what did you do today?
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? That's what I would think, but it's interesting that,
And even like this Wes Watson dude or whatever, like I wonder what his coaching is like. Like, what do you get? What's the value of me
Dude,
paying him every month
he's
or whatever?
really
to coach?
intense. He'll humble you.
Yeah, well, sure, but how? Like, what is like? Do you have to
you
check
just
in
make
with
me feel
them?
bad?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
call me up and tell me I'm a pussy.
6'6", 280, jacked, you pussy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, if I'm not, so you gonna
Something that I had to tell all of you guys right now. The reason I said all of these coaches moved me, there's just certain sections in the book that I put, like for example, Jason Capital inspired the section Rapid State Training. Wes Watson, and he inspired the section Call Yourself Out When You're Being Weak. Now, I think that one right there really moved me because I picked up on that when I was working with him in the Trainerize app. I noticed that every time he would coach over Zoom, I would just be the observer and listen. And I can hear him like coaching everyone. And what I'm hearing that he's doing is he's looking for weaknesses in every single person that he's trying to help. And I'm realizing, wow, okay, now I see what he's doing.
So he has like a trainer. He's on the Trainerize app, and you were able to like get in on like a group call with him and stuff.
It was on the group call, but that was when I found out the way he coached, because I put in my hardcover book, call yourself out when you're being weak. And that's huge. And that's, for me personally, that's one of the most powerful ways to get that masculine mindset, because how can you know where you're being weak if you don't really like call yourself out?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But also Rapid State Training, I worked with Jason Capital on his team a long time ago. But that's different though, because I actually closed sales for him. But what I learned through him is Rapid State Training. That is just training your state of mind to feel positively good.
Sure.
And instead of being like a negative feminine guy, because that's in my mind, if you're too negative, that's not masculine. That's you're not being like an optimist. Like you should be thinking positive instead of dwelling in the problem. A masculine mindset is solution oriented.
Real quick, guys, before we go on, for those listening, we are talking to Adam Skoda, talking about his book right now, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. If you're listening to this, and if you've used a personal coach before, whether it be for fitness, whether it be for mindset, we'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. And if you were going to, what would you want to get out of that experience? It's good for us to know, and it's something we can ask on an additional podcast. So let's get back into you writing this book. So you had this experience with all these different coaches. You've took a little bit from all of them. And then you said, you know what, I want to create my own book on how to do it for the average male, right? So your experience or your knowledge, it's not from a college degree or anything like that. It's kind of just what you built up over time on your own.
Yes.
Versus with some input from, different coaches and stuff that you have experience with.
Something that I didn't mention is a friend of mine passed away. And it starts out with a very heavy story. Are
you talking about your book? That starts out with a heavy story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my friend Drew Yaris, I lost a friend to war, you guys. And he did come back from it, yes, but he took his own life, unfortunately. Drew Yaris, that was his name. Rest in peace. He really just was traumatized, was living it over and over. I could tell because it was just the way he was talking to himself all the time, very hard on himself. And I could see the way he was just being way too hard on himself, even though I say you guys call yourself out. But what I mean by that is only do that when you catch yourself being weak. However, if you're going through trauma, that's a different story. Like,
So how does that inspired you to write the book?
that was part of the catalyst to get me to realize that that's not the answer, you guys. There are a lot of guys out there, like they think that like going to extreme measures to do crazy shit to just take your own life. I also lost Joe Liverman too. Like he took his own life. I post an interview about this on my own Instagram where I talk about Joe Liverman. He ran the blog masculinedevelopment.com. He actually started the podcast, The Unapologetic Man, with Mark Singh, but then he left, and then he started doing his own thing. Joe Liverman, JP Liverman, if you look him up.
Yeah, I'm trying to look him up right now.
But anyways, so Masculine Development blog. Yeah, that's him at the very top.
Yeah.
And it's such a young age, you guys. Like he passed away at, I believe he was younger than me, and I'm actually getting the chills right now because sometimes I think that he does visit me here and there. But either way, he was such a good stand-up dude. You wouldn't think that he would take his own life like that. But then it makes me realize that even though he ran a website called Masculine Development, part of me thinks, like, why would he let his dark side take control? Like, I know it's always good to embrace your darkness here and there. Given the right times, I talk about this on the Ask Women podcast. It's going to be coming out in a few weeks. But I think that you've got to calibrate and know balance to not go too far into that dark side of yourself. And
Do you advocate a lot for like mental health awareness then and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Like,
I talk about mental health on my podcast a lot.
Yeah, because I think that's a good thing. I personally go to a counselor weekly and stuff just to, I don't have anything bad going on in my life, but just to kind of like, learn how to navigate some stuff maybe in your life, or just have somebody third party not to
short
to talk
videos. That's me right there. Yeah. Sorry
Yeah, the other aspect of it too is going to that counselor, and I haven't been to one in a while with my wife through counseling, but there were some benefits to it in the sense of, you got a third party that really doesn't have to has to listen to one side or the other. They just can walk you through kind of a scenario that you're talking about and give you some options on some better ways that might have led to some different outcomes.
Bro, the couples counseling is great, dude. It was great. I remember the first time I went, I sat back and I just told the story, right? Because my wife is like the type of person, like, I can't tell her that she's wrong, but somebody else can. All right? So, all right. Here's the story. And I just told the story and shut up. I was like, all right, go ahead. Talk your way out of this one. Yeah. Jesus. It was awesome.
Point one for me.
Yeah, this is great. I need to come back to this place.
All right, so you write this book, The 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The goal out there to help some people kind of develop that. And then you begin podcasting around the same time, I assume?
Yeah, actually, so I announced that book when I interviewed Hannah Spanky on my podcast.
And who's
Spanky.
Hannah Spanky?
You actually know? Do you remember? You talked with her.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
did.
did.
I don't remember that. But I talked to a lot of people. So.
Got him in trouble. That's gonna put that one on.
We're-
Fucking, that'll
She's a blonde.
let the counselor know
We're-
now.
we're-
There's a story coming next week.
Yeah.
What is
Oh.
Hannah Spanky? Am I gonna find her on?
Spankler,
Where did I talk to
Spankler.
her at? Do you remember?
It was
Was it online or
it was
something?
over
Hannah Spank.
over
this
Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Semantic healer. This one.
Yeah, that's her. I interviewed her on my podcast, and that was when I announced my book.
Okay.
What, did I talk to her about something particular? Or I don't even remember. What
yes,
was it?
I think it was about. She posted something. It was about men's health and like relationships and
Oh,
whatnot.
this was a lady that said, I remember those.
Yeah,
She said something
yeah.
about like if you like jerk off, it's bad for you or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
like, but not like she was like saying like it just in general too. Like if you have too much sex, it's bad for you and stuff like that. If I remember correctly.
What?
And I think I got in like a
What?
huge debate with her in her comment section. I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah,
I fuck as much as I want.
See, Hannah Spankle or Spanky, Spanke. You can find her on Instagram. She
Yeah.
is a semantic healer, relationships expert, tantra, sex. God. Okay.
Sex god.
well, hold on, guys. She says
Self-proclaimed.
sex
Sex
god,
god?
but she
No,
says
I think it's sex and God.
Okay,
No.
but still, but
No,
she
I'm
says
taking
she
that
has
as sex
too
god.
much sex is bad. She should not put sex in there then.
Is it though?
I think she had talked about. I remember her page too because like once I started debating with her, I always like kind of look people up a little bit to figure out what type of person I'm working with.
Stalker.
And yeah, well, no, you just want to understand
wanna-
the
yeah.
background, you know. And so I think she talked about in some of her posts, like, and she even puts it on her bio, all her childhood drama or trauma and stuff or whatever that she has, which. I feel horrible that somebody has something like that, but you probably are not the best person to give advice on sexual health if you have gone through ridiculous amount of sexual trauma. I feel like, you know what I mean?
I guess it would depend on what kind of advice you're giving and to who you're giving it to.
Maybe,
Maybe not.
yeah.
For
Maybe
the
on how to
average
deal with-
person.
With that, but
It's so hard, dude. It's so hard unless somebody comes to you for advice. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
one thing. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't say one way or another. I don't
Yeah.
know who she is. I've never listened to her before. Maybe I will after this just to hear what she says. But anybody
Listen-
can be a self-proclaimed expert in anything today.
Yeah.
especially with the internet. All you
Yeah.
have to do is get like a slight bit of following. You know, and then you can become a fitness coach, a mindset coach, a sex coach, or whatever. It's not like before where you had to have like a clinical fucking background in something in order to be able to counsel somebody or some kind of degree or personal training coach or development or training that you went through in order to become a trainer. Now you could just be like, well, I work out 6 days a week. I got a good body and I'm going to be a personal trainer. And people are like, he must be a great
Yeah.
personal trainer. He's got 10,000 followers and he has a six pack. Like,
it's funny.
totally different scenario, but
That's-
okay, you can buy the hype.
I see your point on that because that's not cool. Like if there's anyone listening that thinks that they can use their following to their advantage to like see that they can influence people to basically get them to work out, that's not cool. You should get certified and you should know what the fuck you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sure.
Mhm.
All right, so enough about Hannah Spanky.
Yeah.
So after your book comes out, you start doing your podcast and things like that. Let's hear a little bit about your podcast, and it's the Masculine Mindset.
Yeah,
podcast,
I
right?
actually
I'll put a link in the description,
Yeah.
guys, if you guys are listening. Go ahead.
I actually started my podcast prior to getting that book released. But my very first podcast, honestly, hilariously enough, you can hear me seducing my previous partner. Well,
Like you did it
ex-ex-girl-
live?
Yeah, it was kind of like it was kind of crazy how that played out. But yeah,
Did they
I
know
did.
about it, or was it like a
like you
Did you tell
can
them you were recording?
yeah?
she knew I was recording. But anyways, that was a long story, long time ago. Anyways, right now I'm casually playing the field, but that's a story for a different part of this podcast.
Well,
I like that's a good story.
Yeah, let's hear that. So you're
Let's talk about
playing
that.
you're playing the field, and you said you had a book that was 10 Ways to Close or something like that. What was the name of the book?
No, it's called Closer's Guide to Seduction.
Closer's Guide to Seduction. So
Yeah.
let's get into that a little bit. I'm assuming you're teaching people how to get laid.
Me and Will are salesmen, so we're into the closing.
Yeah.
So in this
Well,
book,
hey,
you're
what about me? I'm a salesman.
Yeah.
yeah, you sell alcohol to
Yeah.
places that already serve it.
Yes.
That's not the same.
Not the same at all.
Go into a place that's not allowed to sell alcohol and then talk them into buying
Yeah.
25 cases of Miller's Light on,
That's
a,
right.
on a Sunday.
To the church.
I can sell holy wine.
Only one. There we go.
So, all right, first of all, the book's about getting laid.
Yeah, Closer's Guide to Seduction. Yes.
All right. So, what are some of the ways, if those guys that are out there listening right now that are trying to get laid,
man.
what are they going to learn from this book?
Yeah, what are you going to teach them?
This is powerful material, you guys. It's super powerful material. One thing that I can say is frame control is the underlying backbone of all interactions. You need to control the frame, not be a controlling dick, but really just be confident to lead her to the bedroom. But also, more importantly, what I've learned is you want to enter into her mind first.
Her mind.
Yeah. So you want to basically know how to dirty talk, get into that seducer state that I talk about on my podcast consistently, right? You want to basically get into that.
So are we penetrating the mind with our seduction state like at hello? Is it starting that early?
Yeah, like at what point do you transition?
Hello,
to
don't
this?
mind me while I penetrate your mind.
Yeah, I want to mind rape you. I don't know if I can say that word.
Yeah, that's not the right word.
Blurp that out.
But all right, a good example.
So is this book for somebody that's meeting somebody for the first time?
No.
Oh,
No.
So this is like you've met somebody.
I would suggest that they would get my hardcover book before they get Closer's Guide to Seduction.
There's like levels 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. It's all right. So I'll just give you guys an example. This is.
Are you listening, Evan? You might learn
Evan needs
something
some
here.
tips back.
Evan's single. He's been single for 10 years.
No,
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
He's playing the field too.
I like playing the field. It's fun. I like to be single.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so help Evan close.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. So as I said, get into that seducer's state. You have to look at her in that very naughty, seductive look, like a subtle squint, right? And obviously don't get like too weird with it. Just know that what you're about to do is going to rock her world. And often what I said to Emily on my first podcast is I said, you have no idea what I'm thinking of doing to you right now.
You got really quiet there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no idea what I'm thinking of doing to you right now. That is what I said to Emily.
That worked.
With that very naughty voice, as you can hear it right now.
Yeah.
So
do you have any like real life examples like recently that you've used that have been good that we can share with our viewers?
yeah. So
Give us the last time you've been able to close. What's the scenario?
okay. So a scenario that they can use right now is just tell her how she wants to be seduced. Okay.
Evan,
So
get off your phone. We're trying to teach you something you can use on
Come on.
Tinder
Oh,
later.
hold on.
go.
I got examples for you.
Hold on.
Oh, he's pulling
All
up
right.
I don't need to
examples.
see
all right,
examples.
so I don't need to look at that because I remember my own shit. But I can honestly tell that you want an adventurous guy to take you on amazing experiences where you can just let go, you can have fun, and more importantly, you want a guy who can just bring that part of you up where you just want to feel naughty. And this guy, he knows exactly what you're attracted to. Let's go find that guy right now. You see what I did? I painted a picture in her mind and then I took it away. See how that works? So build it up, take it away. It's that powerful. It really is.
Yeah.
Do you have like
Yeah.
have you done that recently and
Yes.
it's worked?
It's worked.
Yeah. What was your last scenario? Like, were you at like a bar or where were you?
Scene 75 in Brunswick.
So no, the little kid place.
That's not a little kid
It
place.
is
It's got a bar.
I take like
God,
we
yeah,
go
you
go
make it
kart.
sound like a. No,
Okay.
they've got a
But-
bar there, but hey, you know, I'm assuming you were on a date or something.
Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I just met this chick and she had a boyfriend.
Was she in
too.
the ball pit? No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're a dick.
I'm just fucking with you.
You're a dick.
I'm messing with you.
But
You're fucking.
what I want everyone to take away from what I just said is girls prefer that you seduce them in their mind first. Like you don't just jump right to the chase.
All right,
Like
so-
don't want to go straight for the kill. Is what I'm saying.
You met her at scene 75, and then where was she doing? She playing video games or something, or
No, she was just at the bar by herself,
Hanging
and
out.
I took her drink, and then I looked at her in the eyes, and she started laughing, and then I started flirting with her, and we just hit it off, and we were all right. So to really cut to the chase, I actually did make out with her, but what I'm saying right now is prior to doing that, I didn't even know that she had a boyfriend.
oh well, that's
So,
that's not your
what-
problem.
what-
Yeah.
Yeah, what I had to do is I had to leave after that because that was I'm just not going to go there with her because when I find out a girl has a boyfriend, that to me is a boundary. But again, girls tend to do that when they're being promiscuous. And what I realized from doing that is it's not smart to be doing this. So any players listening, because I know that there are a lot of potential players listen to his podcast, is you got to
don't judge our listeners.
Yeah.
Players.
We're all married men. Yeah.
I'm not the married man. I'm single.
Nick
we
and
got
I
Evan over
are
here, yeah.
happily married.
Yeah.
My wife would like me to talk dirty to her more often, though. It's like, God,
know.
it's so much work. We've been together for like 10 years.
I just start laughing.
I can't take myself seriously. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know. Yeah.
it's terrible.
But, yeah,
she's
so-
listening to this probably afterwards, and she's gonna be like, "Fucking asshole."
Yeah,
I'm
what
gonna be like,
douchebag.
I know, babe.
So go ahead with the players out there.
Yeah,
When
not
I'm-
the listeners.
Yeah.
You guys aren't players.
Yeah.
But if
What
you
I'm
know a
saying
player,
is just
comment below.
be careful, because I learned the hard way. When you kiss in public, it can backfire. Like, I've learned that the hard way. Like, don't kiss in a public place. You want to take her to a private place and then do that, because I learned that the hard way. You don't do that. Just don't fucking do
Yeah,
that.
take her to a car or something, you know.
Yeah.
My buddy used to come to me all the time. We were single. You go out and he'd be like, I need the keys. And then he was like, man, he was going to the car. Yeah, no, what? So you went, you met her at the bar. You took her drink away. You're having a little banter with her. And then how did it get from that to were you making out in the Scene 75?
Yeah, it was in a public place, and then I found out that she had a boyfriend, and it
Was he there?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, did he want to fight you or anything?
But dude, I had to leave right away. Like, it almost turned into a fight. But it's just, again, them
some
two
ass on
fighting when
C75.
I left. But I had to leave. Yeah, I had to leave.
Yeah,
That's crazy. So,
you should be mad at her, honestly. More than anything.
right? Yeah, you should have no beef.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to the dating advice that you give out, do you consider yourself? I know you kind of mentioned you didn't, but do you kind of consider yourself like a dating coach?
I really, what I say to guys is I say you have to, like, follow your purpose, and women are an extra. And when I say, on my website, I do give dating and attraction advice, but my message on my podcast is your purpose comes first. Women are not your number one priority. And I know that might sound harsh to some girls listening, but it's just like, deep down, you don't want the man to place you as number one, because then that turns you off.
Well, I actually agree with that 100%. You know, most of the guys that I know out there, they go through a breakup and it kind of like ends them for a while. They go through this state of like depression and and it's like, just get focused on, like, and then they go through that, you know what I'm talking about, like guys that break up with their wife or get divorced or break up with a girlfriend. They go through this period of where all they want to do is date. They're on like 25 different apps. They're trying to like hit on every girl at the bar, and it's like, bro, like that's not how you're gonna find a girl. Like she's gonna
Not
realize
the one, that's for
she's
sure.
gonna realize very quickly. Any girl, she's gonna be able to feed off of that and read into you and be like, dude, this guy is like sad. So I agree. Focus on yourself does make dating a lot easier because it attracts people to you. I would say in most cases.
You know, the dating or the mindset, like dating coaching type of stuff. Like I have mixed feelings on it because, like, number one, like, and I don't follow a lot of these guys, but like they said, I think that shit. What's Andrew Tate's buddy that talks about the shit all the time? He's the money, muscles, frame, game guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Who that is. I can look it up while you're
What's
talking
his
about it
name?
though.
I can't think of him, but him and like that Michael Sartain dude and all them. They talk about like all this stuff where you need to focus on your money.
Did you know I interviewed him, Michael Sartain?
No, that's cool. Yeah, he's like a big deal apparently. Yeah. So but and they all talk about this stuff. What is it?
Money, muscles, game, and fame. Fresh and Fit
Frame.
podcast.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Guys, to be
So-
clear, I don't like Fresh and Fit, but go ahead,
No.
Nick.
Yeah, so they talk about you make sure you're successful. You make sure that you take care of your body and yourself physically. You make sure that you keep your mindset correct. Like you have this winner's mindset, which is all great and everything. But it's crazy to me that we've got to a point where the population feels like they need to hire another man to teach you how to be a man. Like I had a dad, you know what I mean? Like that's who taught me how to be a man. And like I couldn't imagine paying somebody to do that. That's why I was like kind of interested in your what you offer as coaching, because for me personally, I just couldn't imagine like having another man tell me how to be a man type of thing,
Well, and that's the thing. And I also think it's about who you surround yourself, right? It's very quickly and
Oh, I
easy.
love that,
Like
yeah.
if you have a bunch of guys around you that are similar to you,
Show
like
me your
it's
friends,
easy
I'll show
for
you
you.
my
Like,
future.
yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. And if you have a friend that's, going through the dumps or complaining and doing all that. It's like, dude, what are you doing to get yourself right? And they're going to either take that advice or they're going to leave it. I know a lot of people that look for advice but never take it.
That's true.
And it could be at various different reasons. One, that it's too hard to put in the work, or two, they don't need it. They just think that they just want somebody to throw some inspiration around them or whatever the case might be. There's many times that I hear 4 or 5 different points of view, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. That's my choice.
You guys are all idiots.
Well, you know what I mean? That's my choice, though, right? There's times that my wife suggests something and like I don't listen to it, but then I hear it from somebody else and I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense. My wife's actually been saying that, and you know what I mean? Maybe hearing it twice made me recalculate things. So I agree, but you're right. Being around those certain people, it depends on who's giving you that advice. And you go back to something, because you say like, I'm not going to pay another guy, but that's what your friends are supposed to be there for. Like, no, dude, you're acting like a pussy. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe you have a bunch of pussy friends that aren't. I guess. I mean, to be honest, there are plenty of dudes out there, I think, that need somebody to tell them how to be a man nowadays, because there are all these liberal pussies out there that are like,
well,
fucking snowflakes.
Yeah. Well, on top of that too, I think that there's like I don't know what do you want to call it, but there's like this thing out there that kind of makes the way that we're talking right now seem like a bad thing for me.
Yeah, we're misogynistic
I was
or
just
something.
I was just on the square today in the protest. I was TikTok live, and this lady was like, "You're the problem. You don't know what it's like, what we're going through." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You're a white male," and I'm like, "This is a white woman." I'm like, what have you gone through?
That's crazy.
And she's like, you don't know what it was like to be forced to wear skirts to school. And I'm like, yeah, because when was that? Like the fucking 20s? Like, I don't think my mom was forced to wear skirts to school, and she's 70 years old.
Maybe she went to Catholic school or something like that. They had a uniform.
Okay, well, that's your fucking parents' choice for sending you to school with a uniform. But it was just interesting that she was like blaming me. And I was waiting for her to say like, we identify as black or something like that. And that's what I was waiting for her to say. I was like, please say this. This will just make great TV.
I just want to.
But it was interesting because like they looked at me, it was like, you're walking around here. Like the one lady said, you walk around here like trying to put us all down because we're out here protesting with your big muscles and your white guy attitude.
You said thank you.
I was like, I was actually just walking around asking questions, and like you guys keep coming up to me and like shouting at me when I'm talking to somebody. Like, but whatever.
Delusion.
So I think society in general has an issue with that type of persona that maybe a man puts off. You know, not sensitive enough, don't talk enough, don't communicate enough. You know, and I think that depends on how you grew up. My dad went out to the shop, didn't communicate at all, which seemed to work for him. But you know, I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that there's a good place for like men to be more, I don't necessarily want to say vulnerable, but more communicative with stuff. Because a lot of times we have this habit of like just pushing forward. Like, okay, so, you know, I have all this stuff that's bothering me, but I'm not going to talk about it because I got shit to do tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that it is good, definitely for men, like, you know, if you have a problem with your wife, I'm just not going to bring it up. I do have that all the time. I'm like, my wife will do something piss me off. I'll just forget about it, and then I'll like she'll do it again, and I'll forget about it, and then eventually I get pissed. I fly off the fucking handle. I'm like, you know, and you do this, but I never. It's my fault because I never said anything to her about the first 8 times she did it. So
right,
I
but
can't
meanwhile, you forget to put the toilet seat down. If you don't have a fucking 45-minute conversation about it,
correct. There should. That's where the balance needs to be had, right? So,
right.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that there's some need for that, but at the same time, you can't take away from the thing that men do well, which is like to be perseverant and go and get shit done. I mean, that's, you know, we're able to bear a lot more than females are typically, and I think that's one of our strong suits. And when you're sitting there trying to be all, you know, feminine about everything, like it ends up kind of squashing that.
Well, I think the other thing too is you look at a lot of these personal coaches that we're talking about, mindset coaches and things like that, and it's a matter of like, the way they come off is like they have all their shit together and that they went through this tough time in order to get through it. When realistically, like, do you ever see an ugly personal fitness coach online, or do you ever see like a out of shape fat guy trying to tell you how to live a better life?
Yeah.
Like not really.
You can't take them seriously.
So it's like, I mean, dude, I'm not afraid to say it. Like, damn, you're a fucking super attractive fucking dude that's on here. You're fucking ripped as shit. Like, how many people are you going to help better their lives doing what you do? Like, some things are just naturally occur for you because of the gift that you were given by God. As far as
we talk about that in bodybuilding sometimes, because some of the best bodybuilders make the worst coaches because they could literally like do push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups and look better than everybody else. So they didn't have to really. I mean, they earned it. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't earn it like for me, dude. I worked so hard to look this bad. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm not genetically gifted like some of these other guys are. So that's why I think makes me maybe a little bit better coach, because I've had to check all my boxes to get to the point where I'm at. You know?
We just watched the NFL draft this weekend, right? And the big knock on Shedeur Sanders. Shout out to my Cleveland Browns for giving the guy a shot, but the big knock on him is like, oh, he doesn't have any elite traits because he's 6'2", not 6'4", because he's 216, not 225 or 230, and because he doesn't have a gunslinger arm that could launch the ball 90 yards on a dime, but he throws a 70-yard bomb, no problem. And it's like when you hear
Sounds
all
like
these
Kurt
different
Warner.
things, it's like, yeah, like how many people are like that in the NFL? I mean, every quarterback's not a gunslinger who's, there's more to it than that. But it's like almost even in that sense, we've become to that natural thing where it's like, it doesn't matter how much hard work they're putting in or anything like that. Like if they don't fit this mold, then they're not, that guy. Well, it's the same thing. Like you just said, like, yeah, not everybody's going to be, I say it all the time, 6'4", 6'6". Like if you're naturally 6'4", 6'6", you automatically have a heads up on a lot of different things, the way your body works, the way it looks, et cetera, et cetera. Now you start working out. Like if you have that mesomorph frame that builds bulk really easily, and you can put shoulders and back weight on really quickly, like you're different than the guy who's built like Adam, who obviously he's going to have to work extremely hard if he wants to put a third of the weight on that you have on.
Sure.
And then for you, yeah, what are you, 5'10", 5'11"?
5'9".
5'9". So
Short guy.
you
Short
and
kid.
We're
the
the same height.
6'4" guy are going to look a lot different at 250 and stacked.
For sure, dude.
And
yeah.
the muscles look different, and obviously that all plays a fact into judging when you're in a competition. But just aesthetically, the way it looks, you said all the time, like it's hard for me to get aesthetically like pleasing.
Yeah.
Because I put on all this weight up here, and then my legs have to grow as well. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I look like a fucking bowling ball on stage.
Yeah, my frame, I just have a wide waist. Like, it's my bone structure, So it's like, I can't change my bone structure. Some guys have these little tiny waists. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like,
Well, it's like the swimsuit, or what's it called? The classic? Or,
yeah, classic.
Like
yeah.
those dudes are V'd out, and then they have like a 27-inch waist.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then but somehow their shoulders are freaking 50 inches wide. And it's like,
Exactly.
dude, that guy's always going to win.
That's
He just-
genetics.
Yeah.
That's that dude is just gonna. He's just got way easier time just because his shape is a lot better, and it's Then you have certain people that have limitations based on their shape, so that's why I compete in the open because, like they look at the most muscular dude, so the shape doesn't matter as much. It still matters, but not like classic for sure. So
Yeah. And then those guys become coaches, and then they, the work you said they put in, they can teach that.
yeah, they didn't do it easy, but
It's not necessarily that you're going to get the same results as they do based off of what they do. Everybody's different. So I guess that's my next question. Let's talk about, you mentioned you have 5 clients right now that are doing personal training with you, right? So how do you go about preparing their workout plan? Because I assume you don't just give everybody the exact same plan, or do you?
So I've been taking them through Alpha Body Boot Camp.
Okay. And
Yeah.
is this something you created?
Yeah. I
Okay.
actually sent, was I talking to you on Instagram? Yeah. I
think
believe
you
I
sent
sent
me
you
a
that. Yeah.
copy of it. Yeah, let
Yeah.
me pull that up real quick while we're talking about it. So Alpha Body
Alpha Body
is
Boot
something
Camp.
that you've created as
Yes.
a boot camp for all your new
Yeah.
clients.
like a plyometrics type of thing, or
No, it's not like that. It's more weightlifting. I think you would appreciate that, Nick, honestly, because I know that you do a lot of bodybuilding. It's very much like drop set style. So
those are great.
yeah. What I take them through is push pull legs, drop set style.
Sure.
Okay.
I like
And
the
that's
push-pull legs
essentially
workout.
all their whole workout for that. Is that every day? Well,
It's just about every day.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
so you're working out legs every single day?
No, push pull legs. Monday
pull.
It was
push.
a push day.
I got you.
Monday
I got
push.
you. You're- okay.
Tuesday pull. Wednesday legs.
Okay.
Then Thursday push. Friday pull. Saturday legs.
So you're doing a 6 days a week workout. Okay.
I said Monday through Friday. I meant Monday through Saturday.
So
My bad.
how do you go about what weights they use for the different machines, what machines they use?
I
Because
tell them to listen to their own body
okay.
and to, if they feel like the weight is too much, to lower it.
All right. So let me ask you this. How much do you charge for this session?
Well, it's on that sales page that I sent you. So
I don't know if you changed it or if
no,
there's something new.
No, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
I've got like 4 different things here. I'm sorry. Do you know what it is off the top of your hand?
So they have to apply, right?
Okay.
And then I read their answers, and then based on their answers, that's what I kind of make the program to tailored fit to.
Okay. So this is the 12 weeks of working with me. You'll get that body of an alpha male.
Actually,
correct?
you're at the right page before that. I saw it.
The blueprint.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Boot camp.
Become physically attractive and gain 15 pounds of rock solid muscle.
Yep.
This one right here.
That's it.
All right. And this is, you've got a little special running on it. You've got 12 weeks making a difference. This is, guys, tried everything: food, diets, extreme workouts, hours in the gym.
And I show pictures of me training in person too, because I've worked at Anytime Fitness.
Dude,
That was
so
a blast.
how long are you telling him that it's going to take him to put 15 pounds of rock solid muscle on?
It's about 12 weeks.
12 weeks
Yeah.
for 15
If-
pounds of muscle.
If they focus, yes.
All right, so I'm interested in that because
That
to
seems
me, that's
unattainable.
a ton of muscle.
Yeah, think about 12 to 15 pounds of steak. You know what that looks like on your body.
15
You know,
pounds of steak.
that's a lot. Like when you go to a steak, you order a steak, you get an 8-ounce fillet or something. That's half a pound. So you got basically 30 steaks you could put on somebody in 12 weeks.
So like they're not using trainer eyes like in the 14-day challenge. They have to tell me that they're done with the workout. That's huge.
Well, so the only pushback I'll give you on this for me is like when I compare it to the bodybuilding industry. So the best, most genetically gifted bodybuilders in the world, the Mr. Olympias of the world, the top 10 open guys in the world, they're taking all the steroids and everything and eating 10 times a day. They're lucky to put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle in a year of stage weight, like actual muscle. So to me, there's no chance anybody puts on 15 pounds of lean muscle in 12 weeks. No chance.
Yeah, I mean, I could see losing 15 pounds
Of
or something,
fat.
or something
Yeah.
like that in a week. But I agree. Putting 15 pounds of muscle on is, if I could do that in 12 weeks.
I'll
man.
pay you right now if you put 15 pounds of muscle on me. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you got, 250 pounds of muscle on you right now, essentially?
Yeah, like
So I give them
220.
I give them supplements to take too, like creatine, citrulline, all that.
So,
So hold on. So
the creatine will make him gain some weight a little bit, so because you'll retain more water on it.
Yes.
All right, so 12 weeks, you're saying 15 pounds of muscle. You're giving them the supplements, like you're actually, or you're just saying these are the ones to go with.
I give them the supplementation guide. Like
Okay.
I have all of that on my blog. There's the blog I wrote called The Ultimate Supplement Solution that they can find.
Okay. And where do they find that at? Is it on your
That's
website?
on my website. Yeah. The
Nice.
Ultimate Supplement Solution. It's on masculinemindsetcoach.com.
Because obviously, this is perfect time as we've got. Let me look at that.
Actually, just go to my website. It'll be better that way.
What is it? Masculine mindset.
Yeah, just look up masculine mindset.
God damn it! I'm not very alpha without my fucking reading glasses.
Yeah.
No worries, dude.
Ah, there we go. Masculine
go.
mindset. This is it.
No,
right
that's
here.
no.
Oh, someone stole
wrong
your.
one. Yeah, I know. I saw that one. It kind of
Sigma
annoyed me,
male.
but it is what it is.
They are obviously paying more money because they are at the top. Masculine mindset.
There it is.
Right
It's nope, down more. Nope, there it is. Yep,
This one.
that one.
This one. I'm
Yes.
clicking. All right.
Yes. Now go
All
to
right,
go
so-
to health and fitness.
All right.
Now the blog I'm talking about, not that. Down. Scroll down a little more. A little more.
By
a little more.
signs, you have low sexual confidence.
Yep,
Mm.
that's a good one. But when
Are
I,
these blogs that
Hey.
you've written?
yes, I've written all these.
Okay. So let's see.
I write all my blogs, by the way. Down more. Like I'm reaching like 170 right now when it comes to blog articles. Ultimate. There it is. It's right there. Ultimate supplement solution. How to
All right.
maximize your gym gains.
All right, so let's. I'm
Dude,
telling you right now. I hope
mutant
you're
mass.
ready to defend this because Nick is more researched
yeah.
than any non-professional that I know, and I have a feeling that he is going to put some hurt on your ultimate supplement guide.
Well,
but maybe
we'll see.
you
Maybe
learned
it's good.
something.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
you
good.
learned
Yeah,
something.
maybe
Maybe
it's
Nick learned something. All
Heck
right,
yeah.
so all right, how to maximize how to maximize your gain. Wait. No, this isn't it, right? All right, whey protein isolate for muscle growth
That's a good one.
and
10 out of 10.
recovery. So you've got
love
IsoPure.
So good.
Isopure is good. Yeah, you could go with any isolate. It's fine, but Isopure is good. It's really expensive. I actually have some Isopure at home. I got from the veteran shop that just went out of business.
Yeah.
70% off, bro. It was great.
What?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
Yeah. So
IsoPure.
that
Wait, the
one
vitamin
checks.
store in Medina, the one
No,
off of 3?
the one up in Strongsville.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
All right. So you've got a iso protein,
Yep.
pre-workout,
That's my favorite pre-workout. So good. I love that.
BAMF.
Badass motherfucker. That's what it
okay.
stands for.
In case anybody didn't know.
By the way, I do have an affiliate promo code if you guys want to know it. It's for my Bucked Up ambassador.
Awesome. Is that on your website if I click on
Yeah.
this exclusive
Yeah.
deal? All right. So
So-
we'll make sure that we put the
Does-
masculinemindsetcoach.com in the description. But to optimize muscle growth, pre-workout, post-workout,
So-
balance meal.
So
What
I
else?
give all my clients this, all of this information.
So let me ask you this, and Nick, you can probably help me. But BAMF, what makes BAMF your pre-workout choice?
I take it for the nootropics, and plus it has it gives me a really good pump.
So I actually feel the opposite on BAMF because I've tried it before, but it's got I think 300 or 400 milligrams of caffeine in it.
It is a lot of caffeine, but I still
so
love
much
it.
that it restricts blood flow to the point where I actually can't get a pump on it at all. Because
Really?
Yeah, because anything I go over above maybe 200 milligrams of caffeine, it's a vasorestrictor or whatever. So the more caffeine you have, the harder it is to push blood.
That
into
is
your muscle.
something I've never heard, because I think
when we were talking about these, I asked you how much was in it.
yeah, it's 200.
200.
On the dot.
Perfect. Yeah.
But
Anything
again,
200 and under are good.
My body does burn a lot of fat quickly, so
Yeah.
probably why.
So that's another thing too, real quick for those listening, locked in. I actually spent a week without a pre-workout, just drinking one of those before I went to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Optimal fucking workout.
Yeah.
I was really impressed because I'm the guy that I've been taking pre-workout, the same pre-workout for years, right? Fluctuated on and off in order to kind of give my body time to reset, 30 days here and there off. But I was I felt amazing.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, which doesn't usually happen.
Pre-workout for me, I don't take pre-workout every single day. I do an intro drink where I take a EAA. I do a coconut water in it. I do some salt, potassium, and usually a carb powder,
Gotcha.
depending on if I'm allowed to have it or not. And so I do that every single day. But pre-workout, I only take when I'm kind of dragging ass and I really need something to keep me going.
That right there is so good. Micronized creatine.
All right, creatine
Yes.
supplementation, micronized creatine by Optimal Nutrition.
Is it a monohydrate or no?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's what I tell people. I'm not really a brand whore when it comes to creatine and stuff. I just tell people any monohydrate is the best one because that's
By
the
the
most
way-
researched.
Now,
Yeah.
I thought monohydrate though is doesn't have water consumption or holding water.
All creatine, you will.
All of it will?
It has water retention.
So is there a difference between was it pre-alkaline creatine versus monohydrate? Is it pre-alkaline?
The pre-alkaline is supposed to be the best one that you can buy, but it's the least researched. So the monohydrate creatine is the most researched supplement on the planet.
Gotcha.
You can look at a million case studies with it, and it's the most tried and true stuff, and it's super safe. You definitely want to drink a lot of water with it, but it's super safe. I told my kid too, he's playing football, he wants to take creatine. I was like, yeah, no problem. I said, just make sure you drink your water, So he's like, oh, I don't know if I can take my creatine today because I didn't drink that much water. I said, I better drink your water, bro. Yeah, I think he's gonna die, but I kind of drove it into him. But yeah, that's good as long as it's a monohydrate. I think that's a good supplement.
So I wanted to say something real quick about creatine. I wrote in my hardcover book to take nootropics, and in that book, I state very clearly, creatine is a nootropic. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, creatine, great supplement. Most tried and true muscle building supplement over the counter that you can get.
Rich
I wasn't
pianos.
aware creatine was a nootropic though.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't know
is.
either.
It is.
Yeah,
Really
learn something new every day.
interesting. Technique. You got a mass.
Yeah,
Is
this
this,
is
is this one of yours as well?
Mutant.
Oh, mutant mass is Richard Piana's protein solution. Yeah, it's really
the
really
5%
good stuff.
one. Is that what it is?
That one is what helped me gain the 15 pounds within the 12 weeks. By the way, just want to point that out.
Yeah.
But
So by mutant mass, I mean protein's great, but I mean it's not gonna just build muscle. Protein will very easily put some fat on you as well. I feel like when you drink it in the form of
Yeah, well, the mass gainer has a bunch of stuff in it. It has carbs, it has fats in it and stuff like that too.
Gotcha.
But
yeah,
what,
it has sweet potato. By the way, in there too, it has sweet potato and oats.
yeah, Rich did a thing with his stuff, which I typically like a lot of his supplements, where he makes them with real food. I just wonder. I don't really have any research one way or another, but just because of how processed it is, I wonder how much you can actually absorb. I've always tended to my food supplement ends up being real food, okay, go instead of buying a mass gainer, I like to go get go take that money, go buy steaks, go buy potatoes, go buy some rice,
So I'm glad you brought that up because we had Joe Pavlik from Pavlik Performance on a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the podcast, but I brought up the same point. I was like, are we at the point where we're over supplementing for the things that we need? Like for instance, if I need 100 grams of protein a day, what's the difference between me taking 100 versus 200? If I'm taking that 200 through a powder versus 100 through steak and chicken and fish and other forms of actual protein rather than a processed protein powder.
Sure.
is there a difference in how much I'm retaining? Like if I'm taking 200 milligrams of a powder versus 100 grams of real protein from a meat, am I going to get 90 out of my 100 versus 70 out of my 200 in the powder form, right? Because we are at that point where, like, you see it at the gym, everybody's got a shaker bottle all the time, right? Whether it's BCAAs, whether it's pre-workout, whether it's creatine, whether it's a post-workout, whether it's a protein drink, like we're literally drinking all of our supplements and hoping that's going to help us gain muscle. And there's a difference in the way that I feel, for instance, if I drink a protein shake versus the way if I feel after I ate a steak.
Yeah. So for my experience, there's a couple factors that go into that. Number one is I think the absorption rate of real food will always be better than processed stuff like protein shakes and stuff like that. That doesn't mean you can't drink protein shakes or a mass gainer or whatever. But the problem that you have is people follow these macro plans like, oh, I got to hit my 300 grams of protein, and they drink like 8 shakes to get there. And it's like, well, yeah, you have to actually eat some real food though. You know what I mean? Like a supplement is exactly that. It's used to supplement your food, not necessarily be the only thing that you eat, you know,
exactly.
Which a lot of people do. I mean, I know people are like, oh, I'm drinking, like I get their onboarding email, and one of the questions I ask is, what does your diet look like? And there's like 4 protein shakes in there. I'm like, dude, way too many protein shakes. Okay. Like we need to eat some real food, hard boil some eggs, whatever we got to do. But we need to, make it quick and easy so we can eat because And then, the other part is your digestive health. So if you have really good digestion, you're taking a prebiotic, you're taking some gut health supplements, you can
drink kombucha. It's good stuff.
Yeah, prebiotic, great. Yeah, absolutely. Kombucha is great. You can do sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. That's like my prebiotic of choice. If your gut health is good, then when you go to digest these processed stuff, you could break it down a lot easier, and you get more out of it.
If you're taking a pre-workout then followed up by a protein shake, I feel like you're shitting almost all of that out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Can I ask Nick a question real quick?
Yes.
I'm just curious as to how Banff played the reverse effect. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, so
you're talking about the caffeine effect.
Anything with a large amount of caffeine's what we call a vasodilator or vasorestrictor. I'm sorry, dilator is open, restrictor is closed. So it's a vasorestrictor. So when you have a lot of caffeine in your body, your blood vessels tend to shrink, and it makes it harder for you to get a pump or move blood around. The sweet spot for that for most people is right around 200 milligrams of caffeine. So for some people, they might be able to take in 400 milligrams of caffeine or whatever Banff is and be okay and still get a good pump.
333, but yeah.
Yeah, 333. Okay. So which is a pretty good amount. But if for some people, if that doesn't bother you or whatever, and you're still able to get a pump on it, I think it's fine. But for me, anything over 200, I can't get a pump. It's really, really hard.
It's interesting. So I'm reading here right now, and this is obviously AI, but it says it can reduce the blood flow and affect heart function. It blocks adenosine receptors in the blood vessels, potentially causing them to constrict and reducing the ability of the heart to deliver adequate blood flow, especially during exercise. So this is a perfect example. Obviously, if your heart rate is up because you're working out, and too much caffeine could be restricting that, it would make it hard to get a pump.
Yeah, harder to get a pump.
And it definitely wouldn't last long.
Correct.
I would imagine. Like, is it just a second, you take a 30-second, a 60-second break, like you're going to lose that pump, I would imagine, based off of that. And I'm no doctor. None of us are here a doctor, not playing doctors, but something to make sure, like, this is where we talk about the research that needs to be done. This is part of being a coach too, right? Like, if you don't know these things and you're not sharing this thing, the guy that drinks a cup of coffee on his way to the gym then chugs a pre-workout is probably getting 0 pump at all, which means 1,
gotta have citrulline,
not going to look as well, and then 2, you could have heart issues, obviously. So,
well, the big thing I do for people with caffeine, especially people that are like super caffeine intakers, like, when I coach them, I literally will take them off caffeine for like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and just let them reset. Dude, I can't tell you, I've had people like have withdrawals, like caffeine withdrawals coming up.
That's a real thing. Caffeine headaches.
Yeah. But then once we reset them, then now they're getting the same effect from 100 milligrams or whatever. But then you have to monitor. You say, hey, look, we're not going to drink 8 cups of coffee today, and we're not going to go have 4 different energy drinks throughout the day because we need to keep our tolerance, this caffeine, active so we can get the most out of 100 milligrams or 200. Like for me, I have a cup of coffee in the morning. That might be all the caffeine I drink for the whole day.
Well, that's not right. She doesn't do anything caffeine. So like if she gets 30 milligrams of caffeine, she's like bouncing off the freaking walls. And it's like, it makes me think every time that she gives that scenario or like, I'll never forget Starbucks one time forgot to make hers decaf. And it was,
I get my decaf all the time.
Yeah. And, like she was like, I don't feel right. I'm shaking. I'm jittery. And I'm like, man, I miss that feeling. But instead I have like 1,500 milligrams of caffeine going into my body every day. So like, I don't get that feeling. In fact, if I have more than that, like it just shuts me down and I crash eventually.
Supposedly, it's actually good for a person to go without caffeine for like a week or two, just for your, like what you were saying, body resets. Because supposedly
those adrenal glands get reset. Yeah.
Exactly, and supposedly it's really healthy long term.
So what I do for all my clients, we do an 8-week push. And then at the 9th week, we do a deload week, and there's no caffeine that week. And then when we start back up again, it'll be a new push, new training plan, new whatever, and for another 8 weeks. And then we'll limit caffeine. And if it's really bad, I might limit it for 1 week going into their push too. Right. But yeah, I mean that's part of the thing. Like with my plan, one of the things that I do is I really try to be conscious of that because that's a huge factor for sure.
No, I believe it.
Especially with these energy drinks and the pre-workouts, like it's super easy to get so used to just taking one every single day. And then you get to the point where like, shit, I don't have any pre-workout. I feel like I can't even work out because I'm so tired or whatever because you're just used to having
Or
that.
there's the point you take a pre-workout and you still feel like, bleh.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah, exactly. Because you built up this ridiculous tolerance. So yeah, so for me, I like to just try to get the most out of the least, you know?
Absolutely. All right, so let's look at the next thing on the supplement list here. We've got
Some of my clients are
plant
vegetarian.
protein.
That's why I give that option.
Land.
So,
plant-based protein. I actually take Jocko's protein, which is vegan-based protein. I don't
Is it
have
any
any
good? I
problem
never
with
tried
it.
it.
It's
I
junk.
love it. I love it. It tastes so good. You think it's a junk protein?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Why do you think that?
Because it's he uses like a concentrate blend, and it's just not. I mean, it tastes great, but it's just it's not like a it's not 100% whey isolate. It's a concentrate isolate blend.
Well, I won't test
so
it.
I actually
Only reason I know this because I had a guy that really wanted to take it. I'm like, look, you can use it if you want, but it's not my recommended protein.
Gotcha.
He actually never even hired me after that. I think he got like he was like a Marine. I think he got offended. I was like, look, man, I'm telling you the truth. I wish it was better.
All right, so we got common mistakes to avoid, and you've got woke AF. Is this part of your do not take woke AF? Is that what you're saying?
well, really that's kind of like a joke because woke AF is like in my opinion one of the pre-workouts that you got to be careful with because that's the strongest when it comes to the bucked up brands. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I really when it comes to pre-workouts and stuff, when I drink I never drink a whole energy drink. I drink half of it.
Bro, me and my wife usually split one.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I do.
We'll
I
get a
drink half
ghost
of it.
and she'll eat half. I'll drink half or whatever, and I'm golden, dude.
Yeah,
see, I
that's
can't
same
do
here.
ghost.
Yeah.
I just can't.
They're all right. They're just available. That's why I do that one.
Supposedly there's a new flavor out too.
Dude, the peach is real good.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that one's really good.
And
All
I
right.
would,
Next one you got on here is
Beyond Raw Lit, yeah.
Beyond Raw Lit.
That's
This is
the
another
one-
The
pre-workout.
Bumstead one, I think, isn't it?
That's the one that I tell all of my clients to start out with that one because that's the one that's going to be like the least jitters out of all of them.
Yeah,
So-
that's Chris Bumstead's brand. I think if it's raw nutrition, is that what it is?
and the right multivitamin. I love Animal Pack. Love Animal Pack. So good.
I'll agree with you on the animal pack. That's like the only really good multivitamin there is out there.
I have never. Where did you get the raw animal pack? I have never.
No, not raw animal. It's just animal pack.
Oh, okay,
I use
animal
it.
pack.
raw animal pack. It's just
Yeah.
like you open it up and there's
Raw
just,
animals.
There's just some chunks of
Just-
fucking meat in there. It's been sitting in the storage barn for months.
Yeah. If you wanted to check out Limitless Focus, go to biohacking actually because that's a good nootropic.
So-
It's on my website, by the way, if you wanted to take a look.
No actual vitamins or anything on there, though, other than just animal pack vitamins.
I don't even see animal pack. Oh, you've got it also taking a multivitamin.
Yes.
All right. So your multivitamin, we got a link to animal pack.
It's a good one. That's the best one there is, actually.
Is it though? Let's see.
It's great, dude.
You know
Look
what,
at the
I'm gonna-
label.
I'm gonna
The only
go
thing
with
that they get you with this one is you have to take 2 packets.
A
Okay.
day?
Yes. Which is a lot. But it has like a lot of
Holy
stuff.
moly!
Yeah,
Jeez.
It has everything. I'm telling you. Like
It is a good vitamin.
in my in Alpha Body Boot Camp, I created a book that comes with Alpha Body Boot Camp. In that book, I say take Animal Pack. This is the micronutrients you need to get through all of it.
You got turmeric, you got beetroot, which is phenomenal. I love beetroot. I'm a big fan of that.
I take the beetroot. Was it gummies?
Yeah, they're great.
I love the.
I
gummy
do.
ones.
Yeah, I used to do the powder, but I hate the taste of beets. So
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Well, the gummies now they have apple cider vinegar built in with the
With the beetroot.
Yeah, the beetroot.
That's cool. I like that.
So I'm interested in. I wonder if some of these I see right here, it's got folate, but then it's also got it as folic acid. So I'd be interested in that. Oh, well, I'm zoomed in so much right
I was
now.
gonna say, Jesus.
Let's see.
But yeah, when you get a chance to check out Limitless Focus, a good nootropic.
Limitless
It's on my website.
Focus. Oh god, I can't type at all right now.
Yeah, you still can't type.
Limitless.
Yeah, yes, one key too far over.
Focus.
My question too is like, you don't have any like intra workout stuff on your plan or anything like that, like an EAA or a carb powder or anything like that you have people take, or
Carb powder, is that what you said?
yeah, like a Carbolin or a Carbologic or something like that to fuel their workout, or like any type of hydration drink, like a sodium, potassium, electrolyte drink, things like that.
So I suggest Body Armor when it comes to that.
Body Armor, the drink.
Yeah.
For what are you expecting to get out of that? Because I'm interested in that. Because I feel like Body Armor. I just looked at it recently. It's not even that healthy for you.
If you go on my website, I reviewed it on my website, but you can look up the drink too. But
Yeah, maybe you could get a nutritional label.
Yeah,
I think that it has like, they have like a 0-calorie one, which is probably good, but
That's the one I go for. I can't have some of the body armors because they're too sugary.
yeah, anything with sugar in it, it's not good.
yeah, that's typically what is this?
It's like 25 grams.
Yeah, 25
20
grams of
What-
sugar.
Is
but
it
it's through-
dextrose, or what does it say? What type of sugar?
I'm trying to see here.
The only sugar I will ever drink is natural sugar cane.
Yeah.
Like,
I pretty
Evan.
much stay away from
Evan, you
all
drink?
mhm.
I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna-
Dr. Pepper too, but you know, whatever.
Shh. Not today. Not today.
let's
Today was
see.
Diet Coke and water all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
guilty
don't,
of having some milk every once in a while.
Well, you don't drink milk?
No, there's a lot of lactose in it.
I don't drink
yeah.
milk either, dude. I'm not a baby.
No,
See,
milk
it has
is for babies.
it has cane sugar, as you can see.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cane
Even-
sugar.
Yeah, even that, like, I like.
Yeah, it does. Wow.
I think you're better off taking like a carb powder over the sugar, just because like
And then I suggest for them to take magnesium throughout the night too.
yeah, magnesium's a good supplement for sure. I actually have Alpha Lion has this like sleep drink that has a bunch of magnesium and a little bit of melatonin stuff in it. It's great. I do that before bed.
There it is.
I have kind of a supplement list, but and I have some stuff everybody takes, but for the most part,
Cyanocobalamin. Isn't that a side effect? Hold on a second.
yeah. But for the most part, like I kind of tailor it for what people need. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I have a female and her blood work's off, and I might put like DIM in there, you know, to help regulate female hormones, and then you know, if I have a guy that has low T, I might try some biotin to help raise his free testosterone levels and stuff like that. So
DIM is good stuff. Yeah.
DIM is it's a great natural estrogen blocker.
So this is interesting because I see a lot of people that pitch supplements, and this is one of the things that Gary Breck is really big on, is like making sure that you're actually looking at like the different types of vitamins that people put in there, like folic acid, vitamin B, etc. Because almost every energy drink, their vitamin B is a synthetic form, and it's actually a derivative of cyanide. So we talked about this on the last podcast. It's not so much like if you drink, you know, one of these, and that's fine, but like you might drink, like for instance, 5 Monsters, and now that minimal amount of cyanide that it's derived from becomes a hindrance to you rather than a positive. Like there's such thing as too much vitamin B. We talked about vitamin B overdosing or poisoning that can actually affect your joints, your grip strength, and things like that. But so this is a reason that this drink would not necessarily be something that would be on a list of things that I would drink, because I try to avoid that. But it's interesting, like, just to think about that. Like every time you look at vitamin B on the back of something now, you're going to be like, the fuck derivative of cyanide.
Yeah, what type of vitamin B is this? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
But either way, let's get back to the coaching and dating life. So I listened to a couple of your podcasts. Very interesting. You
Yeah,
obviously
very overboard. But
you
yeah.
got definitely a way that you like to talk on them.
Yeah.
But I imagine people that listen to it all the time probably get a kick out of it or enjoy it. And it kind of is your niche, right?
Yeah.
And there's also times when you're doing that probably in order to kind of
Get their
set the
attention.
idea of how to do the approach. Like you can't talk like a robot when you're trying to sex talk somebody.
Exactly. Gotta have that low voice.
That's
So-
weird, man. I've just been myself the whole time. It seems to, yeah. I think everybody has their own like way of going about it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, definitely. But my question to you is:
I just
so
like
are you?
telling the truth. That's all I do. I get easy action.
This guy just
Easy.
loves to, you don't gotta
Easy
lie to
action.
kick it.
Okay,
Evan.
hey, I got a friend that can literally tell you stories about me.
I got
like
not me
did we-
personally, but a friend of mine.
I feel like we went through this before. You're like, let me call him right now, and then we
Oh,
rang for
I-
30
I can
minutes.
literally call her right now.
Like, he's paid somebody, folks.
No, I'm
You
not.
know the end of my
who are we
hardcover
calling?
book.
You know Jasmine? She used to compete.
Yeah.
When you get towards
What are
the
you-
end,
No, we're not
banging
calling her. We're
Jasmine?
not calling her
Oh.
right now. What are you doing?
when you get towards the very end, it turns into a romance novel.
Oh, is
like
that right?
I would talk about like how I would get freaky with the girls I've been with. But
So
yeah.
let me ask you
This
this,
is like
though,
a
because
smut
this
book.
is seven ways to become a masculine whore. But I do have a question about that,
okay with
right?
that.
Ways to,
I do have a question about that
the
because
player's mindset.
when I look at a masculine mindset, like when I look at it being a masculine male, I don't think it's about like how many women you've slept with. Like I know nowadays,
Right.
like body counts are like fucking quadruple what they were when I was like
Oh,
20.
it was nuts.
Like I feel
now.
like when I was in my 20s, like a girl was a slut if she was above like 8, and a guy was like a fucking man whore if he was above like 15. Now it's like you haven't slept with like 50 girls yet. Like, are you even like ready to have sex, dude? Like, do you even know what you're doing? And it's like women, like God forbid, I don't even want to know what some of the pussies out there look like today after the fucking amount of dicks that have been run through them. But
Sleeve of wizards.
but when I ask you, like, do you consider like being able to sleep with multiple women like a masculine thing, or is the goal to like, hey, it's not just about getting them into bed, it's about getting them into a relationship and being a supportive male and being able to provide a house, a home, food on the table, family, etc.
See, that to me is masculine. Is like just being the protector, being the provider, but also more importantly, what I would say above all is just cultivating that resilient mindset in every area of your life. And that to me is the epitome of a masculine mindset, is to just be resilient and know that adversity is what introduces a man to himself.
All right, so a guy comes to you, wants to be coached on how to become get a more masculine mindset. Let's what are the first 3 things or your best 3 pieces of advice you would give to a man? And not only just to give to him and say, hey, you need to be in better shape. Well, yeah, no shit. Like, no, what are the 3 pieces of advice, and then how do you coach somebody into that? How can you make Evan more of a masculine male? That's what I want to
What
know.
the fuck? What the hell? Jesus, why do you throw me underneath the bus all the time?
It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Okay, something that I state very clearly, this is something that I learned through myself, not through any other coach, but just my own story. Women actually want the killer in you. And I had to learn that. And what I mean by that is this. How my relationship started with Emily is when I saw a guy in Giant Eagle look at her like a piece of meat. I wanted to fucking choke that guy out till he passes out. That's what I wanted to do. And I had to tell Emily, I said, we have to leave right now. And then she was like, why? Well, I'll tell you why when we get in the car. And then really what happened was after I went outside and I took her in the car, I said, look, I was about to punch someone because he stared at you creepily. And that's fucked up. And after that, what I've learned through that humbling situation is that I realize that I have a lot more like dark energy in me than what I realize. And that to me is what makes a man masculine, because if you have that dark energy to protect your loved ones from harm, that can get you to develop a more masculine mindset because of the fact that you are going out of your way to protect your loved ones. Just step into that dark energy.
So when you say, I saw a guy look at your girl and it made you angry and you had to get out of there.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like that. I look at that as like, yeah, and she's with me. What's up?
Yeah.
That's what I say. I'm
She's
like,
just-
go
That's a
ahead.
compliment.
Yeah, like, but for you, so you had to leave the
so
scenario. But
I was
you consider that as
about
dark
like
energy?
I was like shaking in my body. I like had to I
Did he-
had to like walk away
What
because
did he do?
I was about to.
Was he like, did he say something or what?
He had a look of pure, utter, like inhuman look in his eyes. Like he wanted to do
at the Giant Eagle?
disgusting things to her. And it grossed me the fuck out. Like it was like, how would another human being look at another human being like that?
You sure
just-
he didn't just see like the expired milk or something and like?
It's like, what the fuck?
I'm glad you can make a joke out of this. Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
But
No, but so I can appreciate feeling that way. So you're
Yeah.
saying like that. So when you say capturing that dark energy, or you
Yeah.
had this dark energy, how did you show that to her by leaving the store? Like, how does that?
because if I done something, I would have had the police called on me. That's how much I was enraged.
Okay,
So why not just do it? You know,
I mean,
because you're not trying to go to.
I'm not,
jail.
I don't
Well,
want
that's
to.
what I say.
I don't want to get in
Look,
trouble with
yeah.
the police.
But what does that have to do with the? We're talking about 3 things to
Yeah.
You're teaching people.
So-
So what do you
So
do
I'd
with that
say
dark energy?
Is protect, provide, but also be willing to kill. Yeah, that's the 3 things that I would say. Be willing to go out of your way to do the unthinkable, to be a dangerous man. That's what I'd say. So protect, provide, danger.
sounds like a Jordan Peterson thing.
Be a dangerous person.
So
If that
when-
makes sense.
So when you say a dangerous person, what makes a man a dangerous person in a sense?
Just
So we're-
knowing your power. It's knowing your power. Again, I talk about that in my hardcover book too. Knowing your power, knowing your dark side. That your power is a part of your dark side.
Okay.
That's what I've realized too.
All right. And then what's the next thing you would work on?
Resilience. I actually reference the book Relentless by Tim Grover. Do you guys know that book? Okay. There's the 3 type of athletes that he trained: coolers, closers, and cleaners. And what I say in that book is I say, have the cleaner's mindset, because coolers, they're kind of, they're a little lazy, but let's just be real. Like, they are. Cleaners, they're willing to do the work and kind of somewhat take action. They do act for the most part, but cleaners, they don't have to be told what to do. They just fucking do it. So cleaners, they're like those type of athletes that just everyone watches. They're fascinated by them. And they just want to know, how are they able to have that like dark look in their eyes? It's sheer laser beam focus of, I'm going to win this game no matter what. Again, dark side. Like I'm telling you guys, masculinity involves your dark side. It just does.
Okay.
So
being a cleaner is considered relentless. Like,
yeah, relentless. Got to keep fucking going no matter what.
okay. And then what's next? Next biggest piece of advice you have to our guys out there that want to be alpha males and
I would even also say, like, when you're with any woman at all, like, this is getting into some really controversial territory, but I don't give a fuck. Let's just fucking go there. When you are about to seduce them, make sure that you banter with her first, and just don't like go straight for it right away, because that's something that girls don't appreciate. Girls like banter, and I've learned that through interviewing Hannah Spanky, that Nick argued with. But
banter as far as like communication,
yeah,
flirting,
back and
joking.
forth. Yeah. Mhm.
I would
'Cause-
agree with that.
Yeah, most girls are.
I'm not always the best at it, but I
Yeah,
agree with that.
yeah.
Me, I'm like, I'm tired, I'm ready for bed.
I was the law of averages guy, dude. When I was single, I'm like, oh, you look cute. Oh, I'm taken. All right, your friend looks cute. Oh, yeah. All right, whatever. 1 out of 10. You talk to 10 people, somebody will say yes.
That very first interview with Hannah was called How to Flirt and Banter with Girls. And towards the very end, Hannah and I had a good banter session.
Yeah. Awesome. So
You-
did
you end
hook
up
with
closing
him?
the deal
Did
on
you
that
close
one or
on that
what?
afterwards?
she moved all the way over to Ireland, apparently.
Oh,
So-
good for her. We'll be
Yeah.
in Ireland next.
Well, that's not very good advertising. I bantered with her and she moved out of the country.
All right. So, I mean, guys that are listening to this and they're watching this, like, so let me ask you this. What's a day in the life of you as this, alpha male, as this coach, as this trainer? What are some of your successes, where you're at in life and things that are going well for you? And, your
How many
definition of-
Lambos do you have?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like Wes Watson with his cars, but he's got like 3 Bugattis.
Yeah.
Fucking champion, that guy. Honestly, shout out to Wes because he did work with me and love that guy, seriously. But yeah, a day in the life of Adam. Yeah, I mean, I would.
What time's your day start?
I wake up pretty late because I work night shifts at a hotel. But
Okay.
I do like I go to the gym right away. That's like the first thing that I do.
Okay.
And then I make my classic chicken curry dish, homemade by the way. And I also just
You do this every day?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Every single day I make chicken curry. It's really good. I'll also do oatmeal in the morning too. But on a rare occasion I'll do fish. But and every Friday I'll go out and practice my game at any club of some sort.
Oh, like with women or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
we should accompany you one day, maybe.
Do a live
Dude,
pickup,
dude,
put
how
mic
cool
him
would that
up,
be? Yeah.
mic him up.
We
We'll
could
have
get
a-
like some real life examples on
Yeah,
it. I'd love to see it. I've been out of the game a long time. Dude. I'd love to see how it goes.
we'll put a headphone in his earpiece in his ear so
Yeah,
we
like
can
the,
coach him
like the
up.
fucking CIA, dude. It'd be great.
Adam fucking squinting her more.
Yeah.
Tell her you're gonna fucking
The dirty voice now.
take her out of here.
Nick is showing his dirty voice. I love it.
So you're getting up in the morning. You're making chicken curry, and this is an everyday process. You eat chicken curry.
Chicken
every day.
curry. I love chicken
Dude,
curry.
my
It's my
asshole would be
favorite.
on fire. I think.
You're eating some oatmeal. Are you Are you meal prepping once a week, twice a week in order to get the protein you talked about with chicken, steak, and all that other stuff?
Well, I don't do steak as much as I should, but the fish is what I've been going with lately. But however, I will say canned chicken. By the way, I'm gonna give credit to Wes on that one. Canned chicken is good. I'll do canned chicken on like a sandwich with cheese. But
So
yeah.
is it just chicken and water? I'm assuming there's
Yep.
no process.
Yeah, you can watch.
Yeah.
Actually, my first ever meal prep, like literally, I had this coach, and that's what he had me do. Uncle Ben's rice. I said, I don't like to meal prep. He said, no problem. Go to Costco, go buy these cans of chicken and buy these bags of Uncle Ben's rice. And I would microwave the rice, and I'd open the can of chicken. He said, wash all the salt out, put it in there, put a little bit of sugar-free Sweet Baby Ray's on there. Oh, dude, I ate that probably 6 times a day. And it worked, dude. It legitimately worked. So
I mean, there's always a way to get around some of those things. All right, so then you're going to the gym. How long does your workout last?
Longest 70 minutes
Okay.
because I will do push on top of abs. And by the way, I do create my abs a lot. If anyone finds my podcast, they'll see it on my podcast art. But that's just because I value my core. Like I have a good midsection. But
So how often do you train your abs? Do you train them every day?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but also Sunday too.
Okay, and how long of an
And
ab
actually-
session do you do?
Today is Sunday. I did Rich Piana feeder workout, skull crushers and hammer curls.
Okay,
And
so
I
it's an arm day for you mostly.
Yeah. So I have everyone in my program do on the advanced schedule Monday through Saturday. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they do the pull workouts, right? No. Tuesday is pull, Thursday is push, correction. And at the end of the day, before they go to bed, to do feeder, because that's what Rich Piana suggested, right?
And what's feeder?
Feeder is you pump the muscle. So it's just 100 skull crushers, 60 hammer curls. Again, it's a good
Like
workout.
all at once?
All at once.
All at once.
All at once.
So let me ask you this: do you really get the pump or the workout if you're doing that many? Because
If
we've
you-
talked about that
Yeah.
before.
you could do that. We did something similar like that with Henry. Remember we had Henry
Yeah, the
get
100 at
reps.
the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we were going 20 till going till failure.
Kill
and then-
failure, break,
then
go
do-
again.
Right,
That's
so-
probably what probably
Is that
I'm
what you're
assuming
doing?
that's similar type of thing.
I got you. So you're going till failure. If it's 15, you do 15 more after that. You
Yeah.
go till failure each time.
Yeah, and it does give you a really good pump too. And I will do like the casein protein when I'm done because that sits in my body when I sleep.
Digest slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is good. You want slower digesting.
So
protein
work out
overnight.
in the morning, and then from there, what's the rest of your day look like? Like, you talk about stacking wins. What are wins that you try to stack throughout the day for yourself?
For me, it's just like reading anything on personal development. The one that I love right now that I've been reading is 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class.
Okay.
It's a really good book.
And then after you do a little bit of reading, I'm assuming you still got a couple hours before you gotta, show up for work. So what are some daily habits that you do outside of reading and working out?
It's a good question. I will write on my website. And yeah, as I was suggesting you to check out that Limitless Focus article on my website because I think that you would appreciate that.
Okay.
It's a really good nootropic that Joe Liverman invented
Okay.
before he passed.
Yeah, so
So
yeah, you're basically dedicated like 24/7 to your plan and
Yep.
all your stuff, and then maybe some work on the evenings or whatever.
Well, yeah. So I was going to ask, because I'm always looking for advice when it comes to your podcast and your show. Are you tracking like how many listeners or followers and things like that you
Yeah.
have?
So I track. I'm hosted through Podcast Plus, if you know what that is,
Okay.
and that goes to Podbean on top of like I'm on Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and yeah, I'm pretty much on every single podcast platform you can think of.
Okay.
You know how many people are tuning in to listen to your podcast?
I get on average like 40 downloads a day.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
And are you doing additional content at all? Or are you doing shorts and things like that as well?
Oh yeah, you can check out my Instagram too.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
I've seen a few of them on there, and we'll put the links to all your different sites and things that are associated with you, so that people that have additional questions or wanted to get into this and look for somebody to help. So I guess my question too is like, you mentioned in your book, you've mentioned on your website and some of the things. Like obviously, there's a lot of stuff that you're picking up from other coaches, from other trainers, from other things, and you mentioned all their methods. What has Adam yourself personalized anything in a sense of like, this is something that I have this idea and this is my niche, or this is my, like, I want people, if they say, hey, I'm going to do the Adam Skoda plan. Have you derived anything on your own of like, based off your research, your studies and things like that, that you're like, this is me,
You mean like a system?
Yeah,
It could be a system. It could be, you talk about stacking wins. Okay, well, stacking wins, you can associate that. I don't know if you've read Atomic Habits. Most people have, but Atomic Habits
See,
is
a
about
lot of
habit
people,
stacking,
that's
right? So, like anything could be
Yeah.
a stacking wins, but those are things that you've gotten from other. You talked about a lot of things in this book have come from other coaches, and you've put it in your own words, but they're different insights. But is there anything where it's like Adam Skoda came up with this as a solution? Like, hey, this is the Adam Skoda coaching method to, get women, to pick up women, to get a date.
Oh, they got to check out my second book, Closer's Guide to Seduction, if they want to.
So that's all information that you learned on your own. That's
Yes.
your direct.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot in there that I've learned myself too, not just from other coaches. You guys, I know I said that starting out. Really, what I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention is that I mentioned it on one of my podcasts. I think it was Secret Hack to Developing like Core Confidence or something like that. Just in my mind, having confidence is not just about buying shiny objects. It's really about finding your purpose and sticking to your purpose and having like a mission for yourself. Have a mission, know where you want to go, have direction, journal every single day when you wake up, and then journal before you go to bed. That I would even go as far as to say start shadow journaling. That to me is
what is shadow journaling?
It's shadow work. Do you know what shadow work is?
I don't think so.
I don't really either.
No one
might-
knows what shadow work is. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Okay.
I recommend that you guys tune into the Ask Women podcast that I
The
just
what?
went on.
Which one?
Ask Women podcast.
Ask Women
Yeah.
podcast. Okay.
So what's like a 10-second
yeah.
shadow journal definition?
You're journaling all of your desires that you've ever had, like primal desires, everything that you've wanted to do that you haven't done.
Kind of like writing in a diary or something like that every day?
Yeah, you just write down everything dark that you want to do as well. This everything, even shadow. Okay, shadow work was invented by Carl Jung. Carl Jung, Jung, and really, what shadow work is you are finding out different uncomfortable parts of you, and you basically you find out like a lot about who you really are, and it's a process of self-discovery. So
How can you take that and translate that into being more masculine?
I would say write down all of the masculine activities you want to do.
Is this the Ask Women podcast right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know I know for a fact that they will be releasing an episode with me in a few weeks, but it's not up right now. I did talk about shadow work on that podcast.
Okay,
it will
so-
be releasing soon.
So, and I missed that while I was looking that up. Shadow work to you is journaling or
Just
diarying your
journaling
feelings
everything.
and your thoughts?
You're journaling your dark desires because, again, in my hardcover book, that's something that I talk about that is not about any other coach I've worked with. That is something that I figured out on myself. Shadow journaling is like you getting to know yourself on a deep guttural level. Like you want to find out everything that you're willing to do. As in, I had to find out that I wanted to kill that guy, Giant Eagle. Like I wrote that down. I said I fucking wanted to kill him because he was disgusting and looked at Emily in a really fucked up way. And then I realized that I had a lot more darker areas to myself.
Fair
So
enough.
that's what shadow work is. You're finding out the uncomfortable parts of yourself.
All right. So we talked about your book once again, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. We've
Yep.
talked about some of the coaching that you've done and some of the things that you're working on and additional projects that you have going on. And we'll make sure we put all the links to all your stuff in the description. So if anybody listening wants to jump on and hear some of that, they can. But I guess my next thing is, so where is Adam Skoda at in life right now? Do you consider yourself the ultimate
Have we made it?
masculine male right now?
I honestly, this is an everyday process. Like, I'm not going to be like that egomaniac out there that thinks he's the fucking shit. Like, I think that every single man listening, you have in you a masculine alpha male. You just need to find it. And nowadays, it's easy to be complacent because you can order DoorDash. You can pick up fast food. You can do your usual shit of just sitting on the couch, doing nothing, having a meaningless existence. If you want to improve your masculinity right away, I would say discover your purpose, have high status direction, kill your inner bitch that wants to sit on the couch and be complacent, start stacking wins, have a healthy ego, not an unhealthy ego by showing off and acting like you're better than everyone. And I would also say that, yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself like this guru of any sort. I just think that most people nowadays, they get masculinity confused. I've had people compare me to Andrew Tate. It's annoying. I wish they wouldn't because I don't like the guy. It's like he's on the run from Romanian authorities, and I don't like the guy. I just don't. But that's neither here nor there. What my biggest point is behind being a more masculine man, and what I would say to every single person listening is to just follow your purpose and eliminate porn, because that's a bad habit. And I know you guys do that, because how do I know this? I did it a long time ago. And if you're not willing to own that, then that's on you, and you have got to do some more introspection. Just understand that if you want to live a better life, understand that most men do live lives in quiet desperation. And I had to swallow that too. And I realized that a true man, in my mind, it lives by his code. He has missions. He has a purpose. He has direction. And he keeps fucking going. And he won't quit to achieve his purpose.
Hell yeah, man. And what any big projects that you're working on here in the future?
Well, I just launched 14-day challenge for my fitness fans on my podcast, and also a new fitness program too. It's an ascension program from my 14-day challenge. Basically, German volume training. It's like shock training. If you know, you should be familiar with that, Nick. So
Yeah.
What kind of shock training are you doing?
it's like 10 sets of 10 reps in incline bench, and then like 10 sets of 5 for like the barbell row when it's chest and back. Excuse me. But yeah, that's German volume training for you.
Okay. And what are some personal goals of yourself? Are you currently dating anybody?
I'm playing the field, you guys.
Yeah.
Playing the
happy with
field.
it.
What's playing?
Yeah.
What's playing the field mean? You're just sleeping with random
it's-
women, just being a hoe?
You can call me a man whore. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
what it
I'm,
is.
asking,
That's cool.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking you what considered playing the field is.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping around? Are you sleeping with a lot of women?
Yeah.
It's very spontaneous. It happens like I would say once every 2 months, but I'm not
that
looking.
you're having sex once every 2 months?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's very random, and it can like you got to look for the signs of sexual availability, guys.
You gotta shoot your shot,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta.
So where do you go to normally pick up these girls at?
Akron.
Akron area?
Shh.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
All right.
Akron's
No,
where
hey,
it's at. Watch
whatever,
out. If you're a woman and you're wandering the streets of Akron and you hear a man come up to you and say some crazy shit in your ear,
You won't believe it.
it might be Adam. You might be lucky enough to be on Adam's radar. So
That's right.
pay attention out there. Hopefully, some of you guys are paying attention tonight. I do think, Adam, it's funny when a couple of people are like, oh, you should have this guy on. He claims to be training people on being the ultimate masculine male. And then, of course, the first thing people look at as a masculine male is like, he's really not that jacked. He doesn't really have like a deep voice. And I don't know, he just
Who
kinda
gives a
comes-
fuck? Like,
But
why does that matter?
I think that you said a lot of actually insightful things tonight that I agree with. Being that masculine male doesn't mean that you're looking for approval. It means you're confident in who you are. And being confident in who you are doesn't mean like, hey, I'm cool, like just being fat laying on the couch. It means that you're accomplishing some things, that you're out there, that you are capable, whether you are or not now with a family, but you are capable of being that provider, that protector of a family. That
and
you've
be
got,
willing to be dangerous too.
yeah, absolutely. You should. Well, I don't think you can be a protector if you're not willing to be dangerous. But I also think that being dangerous comes with responsibility in the sense of like, when's the right time to be dangerous, when's not. Because in today's day and age, you could easily get into a fist fight in the bar being a protector and then end yourself up in jail or worse,
Can I say a quick story?
Sure.
Okay, I was working at the hotel not that long ago. This guy, he was trying to intimidate me, and I had to call my manager because he was being a dick, basically. And to make a long story short, I had to call the police on him because, you guys, let me tell you something. Being passive aggressive is not masculine. People often really mistake masculinity as being this angry, aggressive person. That's not masculine. What's masculine is you being calm, taking the high road. That's not masculine. So don't act passive aggressive. That was a big lesson that I learned that day. And too much anger is not masculine. That's what I learned that day.
And real quick, one last thing. Where's the Emily at? Is she still involved in your life at all?
She's not. No.
No.
What was that? She was like a long-term girlfriend or something?
Yeah.
Or what?
I have a lot of love for her. Part of me, it was a long story short. I didn't see myself long-term with her, and that's what I had to swallow. And I had to love her enough to let her go. That's what I did. I let her go.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was very hard.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to ask?
No.
Evan, you?
I'm good.
Are you feeling more masculine today?
A little bit more
Are
masculine.
you ready to go charge the day tomorrow with 100% of your masculinity behind it?
I'm gonna have to. I have to hit a few strip clubs tomorrow.
That's going to make you more masculine?
Fuck yeah,
Get
well.
them singles out.
All right. Hey, Evan's going to the strip club tomorrow. So
Yeah.
watch out, ladies.
You going to the ones in Akron?
Youngstown.
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 Gosh, you're lucky to find a girl with all her teeth out there. Jesus. Jesus.
No
Christ.
comment there.
All right, guys. Hey, for those that have stayed this long, we appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe to the show. Check out Adam's book, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. The description below will have the links to Adam's website, to his Spotify podcast. You can check it out, to his Instagram. Make sure you give the guy some love. He had the balls to come onto a show with some guys that he's never really met in person and talk about it.
Yep.
And then, of course, don't forget to get locked in this week. Evan, you didn't drink just half of this energy drink, by the way. You drank all of
Well,
it.
fucking, you put it in front of me.
listen,
It's like candy.
Locked In is changing the game in nootropics. They are
Great.
definitely going to be a disruptor in the energy drink field. But instead of putting that poison in your body, put something in there that's natural, that's got plenty of reviews. Backed by the nootropics from New Level, NOOLVL. You can look in. There's quite a few reviews already out there, and already some articles back in the science that goes into it and how healthy it is. And once again, it's backed by Manny Pacquiao. It's his company. He began it and turned it into something pretty strong. So make sure you guys are checking it out. for those that are routine listeners, thank you again for your support. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Maybe we could see if we can get that.
Good talking to you guys.
That live dating podcast. That'd be great.
Yeah, we might have to do that. Who wants to be in the ear of Adam?
Yeah,
as he's
I'm in, dude.
putting his game on.
Well, we could have him. What we should do is we should have him.
Let's go to every nightclub in
show us how to do it.
Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, we can have him show us how to do it.
Even a thing anymore?
I don't know.
Dude, I gotta tell you, the clubs down in Cleveland are cool, but I cannot stand. Like, it's funny.
Maybe-
Like, was it cool when we were like 22, like being in a nightclub when you can't fucking move?
Bro, I never did well in the clubs anyways. Like, I literally, like, I would always try to go to a bar where I could talk. If I could talk, I was good. But if I can't dance. So I fucking, yeah, it's like, yeah.
Like, I just feel like now, like, you can't even go get a drink. Like, I hate having to wait for a drink. You're like fifth in line. You're like, this is ridiculous. Like, bottle service to give me a table, get me away from everybody. Like,
yeah, no kidding. But yeah, we should do that. And then maybe what we could do is bring like somebody that, like Evan or somebody that needs help with dating.
What?
And we can put an earpiece in Evan's ear, and Adam can coach Evan on what to say.
yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be awesome, dude.
Maybe we get you laid,
get
buddy.
Ed.
No,
Ed's-
Ed
You
seems to be doing
got to
fine
first
for
learn how
himself.
to banter.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to banter.
And you have
Yeah.
to say it'll be like it'll be like what's that what's that with the comedians? But
I know
but
what
for
you're
real,
talking
like,
about,
where,
yeah.
where they have to tell him and they have to say whatever he says.
Yeah, jokers, impractical
Impractical
jokers.
jokers.
Yeah.
Oh my
It'll be like that, but except for serious.
Evan, tell him you're sexually hard right now.
Yeah.
Tell him,
I'm gonna get slammed in the face.
tell him that your pants just got tight because of how beautiful.
Tell him
they
there's a
look.
roll of quarters in
pitching
your
a tent.
pocket.
I'm pitching a tent right now.
That'd be so funny. That'd be, but
you
actually
guys
might
are
be pretty,
bad.
it could be really insightful though. If it goes well, it could be really insightful. I think for a lot of
You
people.
just never know. Hey, for those listening, thanks so much.
jail.
If you think that you are the
going to
masculine
jail.
male, you got something that to add to it, and you want to debate some of the ideas that we're throwing out here tonight, we'd love to have you on. Comment below, PM us, message us, whatever it takes. Thanks again. Good night, everybody.
Night, guys.
Peace out.
Protect and provide when nights